Unicorns of Love, we are here to fight. That sounds amazing and very intense.
Yeah, they are prepared. They are ready to defend their title from last June, especially they did win that champion. They won the grand finale basically, and now it is a new contender contesting basically for first place. It is going to be Footballist.
Man, I guess if footballers will be able to perform the way they did yesterday, they could run away with this. But again, Unicorns of Love, in the previous videos, in the previous contents, you guys just know how focused and how driven this team are. And again, I'm not gonna be surprised if we see new things from them, since they're all about that innovation when it comes to the lineup, the rotations, and I know you guys are excited. So let's head on to the pick and ban phase.
Okay, what are we expecting here? I feel like Pantheon is the flavor of the Origin series. Maybe even when it comes to at least the July qualifiers. But it's gonna be an Ari getting taken out immediately from Unicorns of Love.
Alright, so no charms, no orb that is gonna go off in the map, but you also have a Camille ban. Camille was spectacular yesterday, so I don't think they would want those hook shots, those Hextech ultimatum for the side of Unicorns of Love. Lee Sin, basically, they just want to get rid of this early, powerful champion.
I know, just taking out all of the early game aggression picks so far. So it makes me wonder if the next best thing or the third best thing would be a Vi. And Vi unfortunately hasn't been shining well, so I assume this will be paired with a Renekton at some point. Maybe actually a Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao has been flexed here and there in the jungle and as well as top side. It has been pretty 50-50 when it comes to the performance. Meanwhile, Seraphine and Braum. Okay, we are possibly expecting an Olaf pick as well because the Nami is still available, but Ziggs will be the first pick coming from Unicorns of Love.
Gragas and Renekton also open, so let's see if Footballists will be able to pick that up for themselves. Gragas, check. Unicorns of Love, if they want to, they could pick up an Olaf and just maybe put in a Lulu and a Nami, like what you said earlier on. Xin Zhao, though, definitely up for grabs for Footballists.
Yeah, this is still a mystery. We still don't know where those two picks are going to go because Gragas can be flexed in, 4 different lanes. That is insane. And for Xin Zhao, we've seen it mostly topside and as well as jungle. In the meantime, Unicorns of Love will go and pick this Wukong up. I was going to say that maybe they're going to pick up Diana, but, the Ziggs is already there. Unless it's a Ziggs duo lane, I think we can possibly see that happening.
Again, they never just fail to surprise us. That is a possibility. Janada will be picked up alongside a Kaisa, our queen of the late game, being well protected. You have the disengaged, basically 2 disengaged champions. You have Gragas, you have this Janna. All from the side of Unicorns of Love. They did pick up Senna, and now they picked up this Renekton.
Whoa, Pantheon. That's gonna be a Pantheon. That is, Where is everybody going? I feel like it could be a Senna Pantheon lane, perhaps, or maybe a Senna Ziggs lane, because there's a ton of poke, and then Senna Pantheon Ziggs will be mid lane, and then Renekton top. I see that as the composition forming from what we've seen so far.
Yes, and that the last pick rather for the side of the Footballist is gonna be a Garen. Okay, mid Gragas. That is gonna be, that he is gonna go over to the mid and Xin Zhao for the jungle. Of course, Dragon Lane duo, Kaisa and Janna. Garen will go over to the Baron lane. So now we finally saw the draft for our game number 1. Without further ado, let's load into the rift. It's really starting this one off strong. Let's see what is gonna happen. So this is gonna be the first series, first game. I don't think they're gonna go with the invades unless you see these 2 champions from both teams. They are not going over to their lanes, but for the mid lane, it is gonna be a Ziggs. I was looking forward to seeing a Ziggs in the Dragon lane maybe, but wait, Wukong support.
It
Senna
is
support,
going to be
Wukong ADC.
it's a Wukong AD carry. I think we've seen this combination somewhere before. You pair it either Senna Galio, Senna Singed, and then basically Senna plus melee. And curious to see how this is going to work out, especially you're going to get poked by such an oppressive lane like with the Kaisa as well, with the Easy Eye Kate in Rain, and then with the Peel coming from Pygas here on this Janna. So I feel like it's a little bit hard to go all in, especially once the Cyclone comes. But most of the time, you see this composition aiming more on the 5v5s later, the early 5v5s.
That is true. And silences from Garen is gonna come through, which just forces Renekton to jump back. Pantheon not gonna rotate or gank the lanes just yet, but now for the mid lane, we can see that Ziggs is able to push Gragas a tad bit back. This Gragas is just at the level 3, so he just needs to wait for his ultimate to try and make things happen. Now you have Xin Zhao just de-warding the area and then rotating over to the Rift Scuttler. Usual rotation for the jungler side. You also have Cold Star spotting him out, vision given for this Baron laner, which means he will just opt to not play this one out aggressively.
It's so difficult because Cold Star is on this Renekton and you're up against the Garen, so your lane is basically neutralized. So it's going to be a tad difficult, I suppose. So now Unicorns of Love are just going to settle with, with Jess getting that jungle invade and getting that early blue buff. Meanwhile, for Sweest, looks like he's not able to exchange this blue buff. So if Kaleso goes home and get that reset, go straight to his blue buff, then he might get a 3 buff start for himself.
On top of that, I actually thought Kaisa will be able to steal the buff with the Void Seeker. Like, oop, that's too close. Okay, was not able to steal it though, but there was a vision given at the very least. Now, Kalesto just focusing on his pup, like what you mentioned. Some pokes here and there from our 2 mid laners, but nothing too aggressive. Ziggs does quite have the lead when it comes to the range, aside from Gragas with his barrels. So that is most likely why Gragas is just focusing on clearing out the minions, which so far, he's doing just fine.
He is going to get a tad outranged though, but just as you mentioned, good thing he has a little bit of that sustain to work with. And he has been handling that mid lane so well. When it comes to any sort of kill pressure though, I don't think it's going to be possible. Ziggs' range is just too good, so he's farming in a very comfortable range. Meanwhile, topside, Kalesto wanting to make something happen though.
I guess he is just gonna fall back. I guess they were not able to catch Garen off guard there. And now you have Xin Zhao just staying in his jungle area. Looking at the dragon lane though, some few harasses here and there from the side of Senna as well as support. But Kaisa and Janna still surviving this one out pretty well. First Rift Herald and first Dragon is gonna be up in 23 seconds. Looks like for the side of the red team, for the side of Footballists, they are gonna go with the recalls and just get ready for this first major objective. You have the explosive micro being popped in and there. Gragas being A-okay despite taking that much damage.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be fine. Maybe a little bit, both laners are going to be a little bit late into the reset, but this is the choice now. This is the choice given in the 2.4 patches. 2.4 patch rather. Rift Herald is now up online just almost at the same time as this dragon, and now fight.
That is going to be a jump in. You have the Mega Friend Obama coming in from the side of this, but that is going to be Pantheon jumping in first blood, going over to the side of our blue team. Janna does get bursted down. Flash out for this Kaisa, but she still gets disseminated by this Pantheon. 2 kills going over to the side of Unicorns of Love. On top of that, looks like they will be able to get this Rift Herald. Zach, so close. Garen could have jumped in, but apparently he did not have flash. Also, he already used Ignite, so at least he was able to survive that one.
Yeah, he even had his ult available, so he was aiming for that finish. He wanted it so bad, but good thing Zach was able to escape, and now that's going to be first blood tower exchange by Footballists. Means they have space to work with in the bottom portion of the map, and even starting this early Drake. Look at the top side though. The dual lane is still far ahead, so they're lacking in the numbers advantage. And now Unicorns of Love starting this one instead.
Bouncing bombs has been popped there as well as the explosive minefield. Now you have Gragas. A bit slow, but looks like will he be able to get this one? That is going to be a no. He did pop his cast. That is going to be the blue team being able to get the Cloud Dragon. Re-engage, disengage. Let's see what are they going to choose. Looks like Unicorns of Love, after getting that dragon, they just want to fall back as well as side of Footballist here.
Yeah.
Elpis, though, alone at the Baron lane, will be able to get the turret, another turret for his side. Also, can I just say that we can finally show rather the Senna souls in the observer. Thank you, production.
Yeah, it's a really good bonus. But looking back at the replay here, this is the power of the Unicorns of Love composition. They're really good at these early game skirmish. They can immediately dive you down and full commit. Basically, but for Footballists, this is a team that drafted this double disengage composition. This is their response. But the problem was they were a tad bit too separated, so they weren't exactly able to execute that.
They should just group together and, try to challenge Unicorns of Love then and there. But repelled has been someone at the Dragon side. Looks like this is just them wanting to get the first tower for the side of the Dragon lane. You have Gragas. He does not have the ultimate just yet. But again, you have Wukong being chased by Garen. Garen popping in with the Judgment. We'll just focus on clearing out the wave. And again, that is going to be Wukong surviving despite Garen chasing him down.
Yeah, he is basically Zach was one level below just because he was in the dual lane instead of the solo lane earlier. And it was an opportunity. I feel like that's the second time already the Garen wanted wanted Zach's head.
Yes.
But denied once more for the second time. Maybe the third time is the charm. So far, though, looking at the items, we get to see the first items already coming online. Luden's Echo already available for Snail. And I think it is going to help most definitely the wave clear. Extra Triforce, though, almost completed by Zach at the moment, and double cleavers already available for Cold Star and Kalesso. So we get to see a little bit of that shred, I suppose, against Footballists.
Also, speaking of that shred, Gragas with this Roa, he did target, I think that was Ashley on this Senna, and that actually took 3 bars of her life out. That is going to be Pantheon jumping in, but that's a Garen. He's very tanky. That's why he just walked to safety. Okay, hello, I guess, and then just rotated back to the Baron lane. We'll be up against Renekton though, and now we have Unicorns of Love. 3 champions slowly making their way at the top side. Garen will UB bucks in. You have a fresh wave of minions then and there. You also have Sweat at the front line. You have the jump. You actually have Garen jumping in. Gushin being popped in again. No one for the side of Footballist is re-engaging Unicorns of Love. After seeing the other members, they decided, no, let's not risk it. Let's just fall back.
Yeah, they have really good vision there, even though it's just one ward over the Tri-Brush. They are able to get information that Footballists could possibly land a collapse on them. So the right call was to just back away and find different opportunities to isolate the targets from the side lanes. Maybe because they have the capability of doing so. Imagine, the Grand Starfall rather, coming from Kalesso and in under the tower, and then Ashy from downtown would just land the ult for the extra shields and extra sustain. But in the meantime, though, this is going to be the spot they're secured by Footballists. They really want to get a head start on this area because 30 seconds on the clock, the Dragon's going to spawn.
Kaisa is 1 level above Senna. On top of that, Kaisa just got her Brave the Rune King. So I guess that pretty much is the green light for the side of Footballist here. Next Drake is going to be up in 13 seconds. And team at the red side looks like they are slowly positioning themselves. Although Unicorns of Love, they are still pretty scattered. But now you can see Pantheon just on the hunt, looking for possible targets, dewarding. He does have his ultimate, Grand Starfall. Let's see if they'll be able to make things happen with just one good initiate. Gragas, though, is alone at the mid lane. They could try and pop him out there. And you also have Garen lurking at the side. Still very tanky. Voidseeker not going to connect. And now Footballist. They are slowly grouping together. What is going to happen next? I thought they were going to go with the engage. Still, not much vision for the side of the red team. Shinja was not able to poke Pantheon then and there, and looks like they're gonna focus on getting the Drake. This could be a Jacob dance that isn't B. And jumping for the side of our red team, that is going to be the Senna ultimate coming through. You have 1, 2 champions being knocked up. Kimmy's going over to Pantheon. Still going to go to damage. The damage is piercing through the armor to the life of the Footballist. Then and there you have the Butterfly being propped, but still Footballists here are trying to get a kill. That is going to be Renekton rather being taken down. Ziggs gets bursted down as well. That is going to be a 1, to 4 in favor of Footballist Rampage going over to Pantheon.
What?
A double kill at that. 3-4. Still in favor of Footballist, but a lot of kills actually being channeled onto Pantheon.
No way.
Is he
He's gonna get this?
The stuns. He's alive. Are you gonna survive that SDBA? No, he does get taken down by the Arcatan Rain from this Kaisa.
Oh my word, what a fight. I have to say though, mission accomplished from Caglian. He was able to finally execute Zack after all this time. After 10 minutes, he has been after his life in that engage
Finally.
over the dragon. And the thing about Unicorns of Love, their composition really heavily relies on the vision. For them to execute the flank, what is their information? Who do they want to target? Especially they're after Alpus's head.
They are. But you know what? They're also after the head of this Ocean Dragon, which they did get. Oh no! Tad bit too deep. The
Zack?
clone is gonna come through, but as we do Void Seeker, will they get the kill? That is gonna be a no! He is still alive, but you know what? Unicorns of Love is gonna go with the re-engage. That is gonna be the Howling Gale connecting. You have the pokes. The font of life from Ziggs really making things happen. Sustain is definitely there for the side of Unicorns of Love, and with that, Footballists, they just let it go. They could rotate over to Baron. Maybe. Oh no, not that much. I saw the killings be going over to Kaisa. Zig saying goodbye. Back the only one left at the side. You also have Senna lurking then and there. Ultimate is available. Do not overstay your welcome. Pantheon saw it. Pantheon saw Garen.
He knows what's
Pantheon
up.
also saw literally the
they
other
want
4
this?
members for Unicorns of Love. You knock up Airborne. You have the heals to sustain. You have the roots, but it is not going to be enough. Shisha being taken down. So now you have the Moontoon coming in from this Janna. You have the Catherine being popped. And now Unicorns of Love, after being, after Ziggs being taken down, they decided to take one step back, but they were able to go with the trade because Sweest also got bursted down.
Yeah, they were able to make it a 1-1, although extended. It still worked out in their favor.
Oh, looks like SCB the stuns connecting. Oh, instead, SCB Ruka being bursted down. Janna saying goodbye as well. You know, if you're gonna look at this, Ziggs and Senna, they are safe at the back line. A shutdown from Kaisa. That is to be a 2-1 in favor of Unicorns of Love.
Yes, if ever you're wondering why I Googled, it's because Caglian aimed for Zack again for like, what, the 4th, 5th time in this game. And he was the first to die just because of this Garen. And he may find another kill, actually. Doesn't have ult anymore, though.
That's not Wukong, so I don't think he'll be able to take him down. So let's play a game. How many times will Garen focus on Wukong? But we have a replay
look at
here.
this. Yeah, look at this, though. This is Sweet dying first. And it's a little bit of an extension here. And, you know, Footballist just wants to linger around. And we'll have to see if the next fight could possibly be... Look at the triple Sterex. Oh,
Right?
Oh, boy. Gargoyles
They're
don't
mad.
play. And triple Sterex. No one wants to die from Unicorns of Love. They want to make sure that they stay alive every single time they press go in their engage.
The itemization just screams defense. And that is the stuns coming through. But Gragas was able to body slam his way into safety. Now, both teams very, very quiet, but I'm still waiting to see if Garen is gonna make something happen here. Xinjiao, though, is just focusing on the Rift Scuttler. However, the Dragon Lane duo is up top, up at the Baron lane. Not sure if they're gonna try and take Wukong down. They could, though, if they want to, just to get that pick off for Unicorns of Love. But looking back into the Baron pit, you have Senna, you have Ziggs as well, you have the speed, this very small speed with an invisibility coming through. They really want to focus on these two champions. Ouch, that damage though. Ziggs being able to push them back. On top of that, they were able to get the tower.
It is, even though the flash was consumed, remember that, it was just one flash consumed. It's just from Pygus. But it's still a big deal. I mean, no, possibly Flash Monsoon, maybe Flash Zephyr just to finish up the kill. But Flash is going to be insanely important, I suppose, in the next fight, which is going to be in 30 seconds. In the meantime, though, ults are going to be slowly available. I mean, the composition coming from Unicorns of Love, basically the longest cooldown is going to be coming from Ashy, and that's going to be available for sure once they clash in this Dragon Pit. For sure, that's going to be a Mountain Drake. So Footballist would love to have that just because of the shields, especially they're up against, what, Snail already on that Void Staff plus the Rabadons. He's going to hurt a lot.
teleport is gonna come through, and that is gonna be football is making sure the opponents will not be able to get the dragon. That is gonna be a Mega Inferno Bomb a tad bit too early after getting the objective. They just yeeted themselves out then and there. Or unless they want to go there engage. Okay, they're making their way into the mid lane. Few damages here and there. The Icathian Rain hurts a lot at this point. Level 13 on this Kai'Sa. Woo! Now that is going to be the Howling Gale. Vision will be given if they do not move. That is going to be Unicorns of Love, forcing themselves to go or at least camp in a different bush.
Yeah, this is them just trying to set up a death rush. And now there is no information that this is happening, even though, let's just say, they have a tingling feeling. Now, Baron going down so fast.
Explosive Gas is available. You also have the Moon, so let's see if they are gonna pick a fight. Let's see the knockups coming through. A lot of damage being taken, being banked by this Unicorn. Oh no, the Kai'Sa is gonna connect onto one. Now that's the Kai'Sa popping in. Hercules is just to jump in. Your next one does get taken down. You have the judgment coming in from Garen, but still, he is very tanky. Looking onto the left side, you have Senna being bursted down. That is the the jump. The stuns connecting onto Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa does get taken down, and now you have this Gragas trying to duel it out 2v1, but despite the sustain coming from Janna, he still gets taken down. Garen being able to get one. Now that is a 4-2 in the favor of Footballers. And I see what you did there. You have Wit's End being picked up by Kai'Sa.
Yeah, a little bit too forward there. It got caught out by the sun. So maybe we may see Zhonya's or maybe a QSS.
No.
But in the meantime, this is Zach. We'll have to watch the base go down. And now look at them. Footballers, they want to end the game.
They really don't care. I mean, they have the damage, have the knockups. Now that is going to be Wukong forced to jump back. A handful of minions here and there. But now, Footballists, they do not want to overstay their welcome. They still respect the possible wombo combos from Unicorns of Love.
Let's take a look at this. This is an amazing cast from the Gragas. Just sending the Cold Star in the front lines, even though he wasn't exactly prepared for that. And now the fight is pretty much scattered. And the thing about UOL's composition, they have to focus down targets and then just start to re-engage. But the double disengage on this 5v5 from Footballers really, really worked out in their favor. And with that said, they're slowly growing into this threat. Again, UOL, Pantheon will eventually fall off. Renekton most especially will fall off. So they're going to heavily rely on the Ziggs to just deal with a lot of the consistent damage on the board.
He does have Rabadons already up, but if you're gonna look at Senna and Kai'Sa has 14,000 and Senna barely has 10k. So I guess that's just the immense lead that Elpis was able to bank on. And if we're even gonna compare her with the Ziggs is only sitting at a 12k. So a lot of space created for this Kai'Sa. That's why she is the problem in the fights, in the clashes. On top of that, Garen with the very, very aggressive flash plays that is going to be the cast connecting, but the stuns are going to connect as well. Now here is going to be Footballers jumping in, Senna popping in, but the ultimate voice seeker is going to connect. But you know what? It's going to be A-okay because they can tank that damage. Renekton did decide to join the party, but I don't think Cold Star is going to try and pick a fight. Instead, he did focus on the minion wave. And I like how the teams, they're playing this chess game, this mind game that one mistake, let's not risk it. Let's take a step back.
Yeah, I was about to say, because the minion wave is slowly building at topside, because that's already open, that means their chances of hovering a little bit more around the Baron buff is basically mitigated. Good news though, it's a topside, therefore it's so easier for you to walk from top to the Baron just to help out, just to see if you can take it away and deny it from Footballers. But this is Footballers already starting the Baron. This is a two-man Baron. They have a Kai'Sa. This is going to go way fast, and they're doing a good job zoning out Unicorns of Love away from this area.
Squeezed also has GA, so he's going to be A-okay. You also have Zach with that GA, but Red Team will be able to get that juicy Baron. Now here is a fresh wave of Baron buffed minions. Cask is going to be thrown in and there. I mean, the barrel is going to be thrown in there. You have the roots connecting. Oh no! That is going to be the Mega Inferno Bomb. Correct, you have the teleport coming from the side. You also have the Moon to be popped by Janna on the back line. But you know what? GA is going to be popped, but the roots from Senna is going to come through. GA is being popped all over the map. That is going to be our next one being taken now by Kai'Sa. Ramp is going over to Garen. But you know what? Kai'Sa was able to kill her and stick her way into the Saya. The Void Seeker coming through. Doppus is going over to ADC. Ziggs is gonna be forced to jump back. You have a jump in, a flash in from Pantheon, but he still does get taken down by this Janna. Ziggs being chased by Gragas. You have Garen at the top part. You have the explosive minefield. The bombs would be enough. That is gonna be a no because Footballers, they are gonna focus on the goal, which is Nexus, and eventually game 1 going over to the red team.
What a first game that we have today in the grand finale. Footballist was able to solidify, get the momentum first in this BO5 series. And what a comp, though. This basically was a, maybe on paper come mid-game, rock, paper, scissors-ish, disengage versus full-on engage. And they timed their ults right, Monsoon with the cast, and just catching Unicorns of Love in such awkward places, especially come, the 10-minute mark onwards.
That is true. And there were a lot of good routes from Senna. But you know what, Riku? I believe we are ready to show our viewers the drawing board, the Riku accurate analysis for our game number 1.
Alrighty. So let's take a look at the first dragon fight that we have here. Again, this is basically the composition from Unicorns of Love are gonna be setting up for deeper vision just to make sure that Kalesso, yes, can set up for a grand Skyfall in the back line. But the thing is, they've managed to have Zac actually set up for them on this fight instead, and that's what we saw. He's initiating the Cyclone, really doing a good job, but therefore they got Rekna and Squeeze just basically zoning a lot of the members coming from the side of Unicorns of Love, and therefore the setup was void and null. And we didn't get to see the Cyclone eventually happen just because of, or rather the zoning that Footballist did. But at the end of the day, it is still Footballist with an amazing double disengage composition. They were able to protect basically the carries. They were the only ones left, and they were able to finish off and clean slate after the rampage and get that shutdown gold on towards after eliminating the Pantheon.
Yeah, the protect the queen composition really making things happen. Also, Squeeze has a lot of juicy or good initiates, whereas Garen, Kaisa, even Jan decided to follow up. So again, that was an amazing game for the side of Footballists. To the fans, I know you guys are happy. Do not forget to celebrate in the comments. However, for the fans of Unicorns of Love, don't worry. This is a best of 5. Maybe we can see them being able to bounce back to game number 2, which, you know what? Let's just jump into the pick and ban phase. I'm excited. Again, this is Unicorns of Love and Footballists. These are the IGNs. What adjustment should the side of Unicorns of Love do for game number 2?
It's back to the drawing board for UOL this time around. I mean, they are the defending champions for this particular group. And of course, this is a really, really good jump. Again, I believe Footballist came from 8th place, and now they're potentially aiming for 1st or 2nd, depending on how this BO5 series is gonna go.
See, that's basically the fruits of playing a lot of Wild Rift. Guys, don't forget to continue playing your ranked games. That's just me being very motivational. But yeah, I miss playing Wild Rift. It's been 2 hours since I played, so I'm kind of sad right now, but it's okay because I get to see these amazing games for these 2 teams. But yeah, again, back to your drawing board for Unicorns of Love. Let's see what adjustments or what new champions are they gonna give us for this pick and ban phase for game number 2. Pantheon still gonna be open. I'm not sure if they're gonna give Kaisa to Footballist, so they could get it for themselves if they want to. However, Ari still gonna be a pretty hot ban for Unicorns of Love.
If they want to remove any of the scary assassins in the mid lane, one of the best actually in the current meta when it comes to the AP department, I suppose. And as well as, again, this Camille can be flexed anywhere. Well, not exactly anywhere. Possibly the same as Xin Zhao, either top lane or in the jungle. And this is looking to be like similar bans. I wonder if there's going to be a big difference. Maybe someone would want to ban out the, Seraphine still? Because... it's the Ziggs this time around. So we could possibly see an Olaf composition coming in either from Footballist or Unicorns of Love.
Maybe for the side of Unicorns of Love. Let's see who will be their first pick. Gragas being banned out though. So okay, Olaf is open, Seraphine is open,
yes.
Braum is open too. Seraphine, First pick. All right, let's go.
Footballers, get Olaf. Get Olaf in your comp and then pick Nami. Because this is, looking at the bans, the double disengage basically is gone. I mean, you still can opt for a Janna, but the Gragas just eliminates the double disengage. Gragas plus Janna, Gragas plus Braum. And now, Unicorns of Love, are they going to take the bait? Are they going to pick up the Olaf in the later stages of this draft? Meanwhile, Garen being secured means the Great Neutralizer is already secured. Therefore, whatever Unicorns of Love picks in the top lane, maybe a Renekton, will be basically neutralized in the early game.
All right, this is a champion that Excalibur did hype yesterday, so that is going to be Graves. A lot of new items is going to be perfect on this champion. But on top of that, Unicorns of Love, why not get a solid engager? Let's go with Wukong with the knockup. But for the head of Footballist, they now have they did pick up Corki, they did pick up Kaisa, so they are going to run the double ADC composition.
Yeah, and the same for Unicorns of Love. Although in a different kind of scenario where the Graves is going to the jungle, Lucian could actually still possibly go mid. And then Seraphine and as well as Sona. This is the unkillable composition, parts of the unkillable composition from what we've seen in Team Secret back in the Wild Rift Icon series. Instead of an Olaf, we might see this Graves instead, and as well as the Lucian, that they will continue to propel and make sure that they stay alive.
Okay, so I like the Sona Seraphine combination, even though I think it's a double-edged sword. But the idea that you can fight while you fall back, a lot of poke, a lot of sustain. So maybe Unicorns of Love can push this through. However, for Footballists, they are still gonna run that very in-your-face composition. So let's see who will be able to be in their opponent's face as we jump into game number 2.
This is going to be spicy. This is, just as you mentioned, Yuko, this is a composition that will definitely fight front to back. And now for Footballists, they have that scaling option in their hands. I'm curious, though, what Rekna is going to opt for, because yesterday, I believe we did see 3 different build paths for the Corki and has never settled. I believe the last build that we saw was the pretty much standard one, or although the faster, the more painful one. Well, not painful one. Painful early game. The Triforce to the Infinity Edge. So maybe we get to see something different coming from this Corki.
That is true. Oh, okay. Now you have, again, Sona Sarah combination against the Kaisa Janna. So I guess they have the early game poke advantage. But looking at the Baron lane, that is going to be Graves. I actually see the logic behind this. Garen can't silence you. Garen can't kill you if he can't see you. So there's that. That
too. And it is a melee versus range matchup. So you're right. This is going to be not exactly the time of his life here for Caglian. Unlike in the first game, he was basically just running all over people up against Unicorns of Love with no punish whatsoever. This time around, Ignite actually dropping on Caglian here very early.
I guess that is just Graves maybe asserting dominance in the earlier part of the game, just to, again, push this Garen back, make sure he does not get the farm or the lead that he needs. Looking at the mid lane, though, Lucian will be able to just push Corki back under turret and they're just gonna let the minions fight for themselves. You also have Wukong saying hi, hello from the mid lane. I'm not sure if they're gonna rotate over to the dragon lane. They could if they want to. You have the pokes, you have the slows, you have the small damage coming through from Lucian, but there is no actual commitment.
Yeah, still gonna be playing safe because again, for Footballists, they will be a little bit late to the scaling party, I suppose. Even Elpis going a little bit later than usual. And in the meantime, it is going to be Zac and Ashy now on this double support composition, or rather pick, which is going to be very interesting because, again, UOL will have to rely on their 5v5s. They always have to be together to make sure that this composition works. For Footballists, they can afford to be, skirmish heavy a little bit with Sweest here on the Xin Zhao. So getting picks here and there, especially during the laning phase, will be ideal for them.
That's true, and maybe they can just stretch or utilize that very slowly or that window for their team. But there is going to be the big job connecting earlier on. Did connect on to Swiss, but looks like he's just going to fall back. Howling Gale coming in from Jan as well. Very quiet Dragon lane as well as the mid lane. So I guess both teams they would just want to focus on getting the items in, ramping up damage, and as one thing I observed from the lineup of footballists too is they want to commit to the 5v5. So they could push this or at least try to make things happen at the mid game or after the first dragon has been taken, but still a lot of options in the table.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna wait for Rekna and Elpis to get to their power spikes first. It could be a similar spike actually for Swiss and Rekna because we're looking at Triforce first, so they're opting for a more faster way of things, I suppose, to be relevant. And I feel like the reasoning behind that is because the Infernal Drake is the first dragon. So now you will assume that they want to contest this one and ready to fight once the 20-second, or rather once the 4-minute mark comes.
It's gonna be Graves. I'm not sure if he's gonna make his way down into the dragon area. He was able to push the wave back, but now that is gonna be the recalls coming through from Lucian. The moment he goes back to the base, most likely Unicorns of Love is gonna just put our sort of dominance at the dragon pit. Rip Herald as well as Inferno Drake is now up. Garen popping in again with the judgment. Will just defend the minions or take them down. You also have Janna alongside the ADC as well as that Corki already trying to have first dibs on this Drake. You have the Howling Gale connecting through. Font of Life is going to be procced. You have the heals coming through from Ashby, from Sona. But Unicorns of Love, they still would want to play this one passively or conservatively.
It's really hard because again, Futbolist doesn't have any damage output yet. They are not prepared for this. They have to get a pick first and then commit to the 4v5. But because Unicorns of Love is so good with the 5v5 with their composition, there is a ton of respect. That's the reason why we see this now.
Ooh, okay, that is going to be football. Let's just focusing on the Dragon Unicorns of Love. They have ultimates available. Knockups are going to come through. Now you have Corki in the backline. That is going to be them jumping in. Blue team must have to get the Infernal Drake. But you know what? Kaisa popping in with the killer instinct. And Lucian is just safe on the backline. Blue team was able to get the first button. That's going to be Sona being able to take down Jin Zhao. A double kill going over to Kaisa. B-Chop not going to connect. Kaisa will be able to run away. You have the dash in from Lucian. And Kate Rain is going to come through. And that is going to be a 1-for-2 in favor of footballists. But again, first blood did go over to Unicorns of Love. Gatling gun is gonna come through. He was able to get the Honeyfoot and Lucian gets taken down. Sona with the damage, but it is not gonna be enough. Double kill going over to Corki. Triple kill maybe, but no. Okay, Seraphine being taken down by Garen. That's a huge lead for footballists.
Yeah. It was basically the mana running out, and that's the reason why Unicorns of Love ran out of steam. On paper, they should have won, but running out of mana at that point, they basically couldn't do anything and take advantage of how powerful they are early. Let's take a look at that again. This was a really good Valkyrie or special delivery package coming from Rekna, who's able to basically slice the fight in half. And now they're a little bit separated. Look at the mana bars. It's only basically Ashy that had mana left.
Blue team was able to get their Herald, but at the expense of their supports left. Kingsby going over to Corki, Valkyrieing his way in. Wow, he does get a shutdown. That is going to be the gold going over to Lucian. Now you have Garen just running away by the skin with the skin of his teeth. That is going to be him trying to maybe protect the turret, but Unicorns of Love, they have quite the wave here. You have the deep drop. You also have the extra pokes coming in from this Sona. Repel has been summoned in the mid lane. Goods coming through. But
no, the
Crescendo is not gonna connect. That was too close though. They could have taken down Rekna and they could have taken down Swiss, but that is gonna be a no. You had the Gatling gun coming through from Corki, and let's take a step back onto the Repelled fight.
Yeah, this was a secure from the side of Futbolist, so this is mission accomplished. So they have disengaged. So the ideal situation was get the Rift Herald, Monsoon out, and then just basically run away. I think that was the intention in mind, looking at what the rest of the squad wanted to do. Or rather, it was Unicorns of Love that secured that Rift Herald for themselves. So it's another bonus. Infernal Drake on top of more legroom, more map space. In the meantime, looking at the itemization, it's not going to be the Navori's first item for the Graves this time around. It's going to be on the Essence Reaver. It's a double Essence Reaver now for both of the 80 carries of Unicorns of Love.
They just want to get that, that damage that will make footballists stay out. But you have this three champion rotation. Maybe they could try and pick Janna, Kaisa, both, or catch him off guard. But that listening be a no because both of them will be able to fall back. No minions yet though. But
Yes.
there is minions rather, but they're gonna just focus on this turret. Heals still like this is also the reason why it's kind of difficult to be up against the Sona Sarah. That sustain is crazy. The heals,
Yeah.
and the moment you go anywhere near them, you're gonna get CC to the ground.
Exactly. That is the reason. It's why Footballist is so hesitant in entering these fights. The what do you call this? The ult coming from Cold Star is just there for wave clear, but at the same time, there's just two people already there, very antsy in taking the tower. Going a little bit of that backtrack. I mean, Essence Reaver. We also said how they ran out of mana early in the earlier fight. Now this is the solution. They have the Essence. They have the Essence Reaver now, so they're going to be comfortable in the extended fights, especially in the 5v5s later on.
Basically, it's more mana, no problem. Just make sure
Yeah.
the fight, their mana will be enough for any extended fights that will go over for the side of Unicorns of Love. However, next Drake, the Ocean Drake is already up. Gatling has been popped by Corky, but you know what that is gonna be? Colesto jumping at the front line. You have the beat jump not gonna come through, but now you have Garen just focusing at the back lines. He does not care. He is gonna chunk a lot of
Whoa.
damage. It's be the anchor connecting. Crescendo is gonna connect as well, but now they are come together. Corky in the back line. That is gonna be Xinjiao Wukong rather jumping in straight at Corky's face. Red team was able to get that Ocean Drake at the expense of what? None yet, but as he flashed in going over to Graves was able to take down Janna. You also have him being able to get Xinjiao's head as a double kill. Triple kill maybe? No? Okay. Nearsighted is gonna come through onto Garen, but that is gonna be a 2-0 plus 1 dragon going over to Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, looks like, Footballist is able to secure the Ocean Drake, but at what cost? They lost so many lives in that fight. They are still in the lead to maybe 1k gold difference. Let's take a look at the replay once more. This was a really, really good Cyclone and as well as the Crescendo being initiated. But the thing is, Rekna was pretty much separated from the whole squad. So this is, -1 already in the fight. So it was a temporary 4v5 situation. And there's just not a lot of hold from the side of Footballist. So UOL can be so comfortable and dashing and then just moving and maneuvering around CCs, or rather skill shots from the side of Footballist. So now Baron's being started.
Will it be non-contested? Also, I have to correct myself. Footballist was able to get that Ocean Drake, but Red Team is still being able to secure the Baron. The Encore is going to connect onto 2, onto 3. But you know what? Footballist, they don't care. After getting the objective, they are just going to run away. But that is going to be the Xinjiao being taken, being bursted down by the Lucian, being gunned to the ground rather. And it is going to be a 1-0 in favor of Unicorns of Love. If you're going to look at the gold lead though, 1k in favor of Footballist, but now the kills are just dead even. This is showing that the lineup or the draft for Unicorns of Love, it's coming through.
Yeah, it's incredibly close for sure. Cyclone, really nice setup by Colesto there. But at the same time, they really didn't have any much reach. And because of that Janna with a disengage, they are able to get Swiss though. So that's -2 members without the Baron buff. So I think that would be... Oh, hold on. What's
Okay,
happening?
but yeah, that was just Corky being able to take down Graves. That's it. That's the story. You also have a teleport coming through from Garen. Look at the mid lane though. Voidseeker not gonna connect. Ashby just popping in with the first kill. You also have Colesto. You also have Book on the sides. Are they gonna jump? I don't think so. There is no minion. Howling Hill is gonna be popped in again. Garen, this player just really loves to penetrate the backlines. That's why he's just camping in that bush right there. But let's see if Unicorns of Love will be able to locate his position. Valkyrie gonna be popped by Corky just so he'll be allowed. The Crescendo is gonna come through, connecting onto the Encore. But you know what? Who's gonna die? The turret first. But now you have the roots coming in for the side of Seraphine. That is to be Kingsby going over to Lucian. Garen being bursted down, and that is to be Footballist just jumping away with their last 4 champions. They do not have a frontliner, so they are just gonna fall back.
Yeah, this is a 4v5 for 19 seconds. So Elvis though might get caught out here.
Oh, okay, that is gonna
He
be
uses the
them
flash.
just staying at the turret, but that was too close for comfort. I knew and I
Too
felt
close.
that Unicorns of Love could have dived, could have flashed in, but I guess they
Oh,
just want to take the safer road,
he
which is
survived.
that was the turret survived. Yo, okay. I guess I just want to you know what? They trust their minions so much. They knew they're gonna kill it, but they forgot about their Cave and Rain, so no more wave in the mid lane. Rip.
It is, yeah, rip. It's at least they can take that down eventually if they win a fight. But the thing is, this is a big win for Unicorns of Love because Footballers wasn't able to capitalize on their Baron buff. They wanted to push mid. They did succeed in taking the first tier tower, but at the same time, they get to maximize the full potential of the Baron buff. So now, UOL are going to be happy about that one. And now Mountain Drake has spawned. And look at the position coming from Footballers. They are not prime and ready just yet because the Garen is coming from far away.
Front line, but as the blue team being able to secure the Mountain Drake. It again, now SCB Gary will you survive the SCBA? Yes, because he does get charmed as the Rampage going over to Lucian. Now you have Corky. Oh no! He actually gets in a tad bit too deep. He was not able to Valkyrie at the perfect time, but you know what? Kaisa does become golden. Still, she does get bursted down. Double kill going over to Garrett. That is going to be a 4-2 in the favor of Footballist. And the emoticons coming in. Rampage going over to Corky. That is going to be the first ace of the game. Going over to Footballist, even though Unicorns of Love, they were the ones in a better position in that Dragon Pit.
I know. Then this is the well, I suppose the post mid game creeping in, where Rek now is able to get what two? I'm guessing it's the Infinity Edge plus Triforce that got them, and even more. But let's take a look at that again. Really nice setup though. But the thing is, if you're clumped all together, look at Rekna's special delivery, and then he Valkyrie's back. Everybody's just gonna eat all the rockets and everything and all the pain in the world. So this was the best case scenario and the best case setup. Look at him. He's even chasing for more kills and even gets an extra off of that Lucian. And now this is starting to look very dicey for Unicorns of Love. Remember, Footballist already won their first game in the series and they're on their way to that second win going into match point. And remember, UOL are the defending champions from last month's Origin Series monthly finals.
Looks like Footballist, they want to end the series with a 3-0. Let's see if that is gonna happen. You have the Anchor connecting as well as, oh wow, okay. That is gonna be the B-Drop connecting as well. He shot down onto Corky, but now that's gonna be Unicorns of Love. You also have the calling being popped. Kaisa receiving a lot of damage. Shields are gonna come through and it is gonna be enough. However, Garen gets bursted down. It is a 2-0 in favor of Unicorns of Love. Good camping. I mean, problem is, I guess they just used a lot of ultimate just to get those 2 kills. Clone is right there. GA still available for Callisto. And now Unicorns of Love, they are gonna fall back.
Forward?
Unless Lucian wants to dash in, you still have the beat drop. You also have the heals coming through from Sona. Footballists, they're dancing in their tempo, you know, going forward, but then going back. And they do have quite the lead when it comes to the minion wave push.
Yeah, it was a very 50-50 risk, I suppose. But let's take a look at that again. Really nice encore, just catching off basically Footballists. They weren't prepared for this. Really good shutdown as well. But good thing, the good news is that Elpis survived even the collateral damage. So they needed that ranged champion to defend that mid lane tower and could have ended disasters. Look at Footballists! You death brush us and we death brush you too. Let's see if it's gonna be successful.
If you do it to us, we're definitely gonna do it to you too. But let's see. Oh no, fish! I'm gonna scream, but that is the B. Graves receiving a lot of damage. Gorky is just in for the backline of the moves coming in from Jana. GA being popped. The culling being popped by Lucian. Here comes Sona. She does have crescendo, but you know what? Wukong was the only one that got bursted down in that pickoff. But pretty much that is the B Smiles going over to Footballist. They're very much happy with that kill because Garen, alone at Baron Lane, was able to put a hole onto Unicorn of Love's base.
Yes, place, base, potato. But it is a successful death rush for sure. 20 seconds on the clock before Kaleso even spawns back. He will eventually reach the Elder Drake spawn though. Let's take a look at that again. It is a 3-man death rush, 4-man death rush actually, with Cold Star coming from a different direction. But what counts here is that Rekna had a very good positioning here in the back line. So at that point, UOL just had to make Kaleso that sacrificial lamb for them, for the rest of their members to escape.
Elderdrake already up, and you still have Garen on split push duty. This is a 4v4, but that is gonna be a 4v5. Let's see who will win. They still need to be very wary of their base hit. Again, will the blue team be able to get it? That is gonna be the crescendo connecting. Jana does get bursted down. Let's see which team was able to get it. That's gonna be the blue team being able to get the Elder Cloud Dragon. But guys, I told you this earlier. Your base, the base Corky going over onto the base. That is gonna be double going over to Lucian. Senna, that is no, not Senna. I meant Sona jumping in, but that is not going to be enough because this team, the red team, Footballists will be able to bag game number 2. So I just have to ask this question. Gragas was going up against Garen. There is no more turret. So that was a 4v4 at the Dragon's Pit. But he teleported towards the Dragon Pit. I'm a nani.
It was definitely an interesting play. I mean, the play and the option of winning through a backdoor was available. Again, we talked about this maybe in the first half of the game where mid lane, top lane is already open, so this is going to be very tricky. The Garen is basically very busy as well, doing a lot of work and using the Elder Drake as bait. So, UOL will be primarily focused on that area, just wanting to steal. And what a finish. I want to see that again.
All right, let's see another game number 2 because now we have the highlights ready for you guys.
This is just one of the instances where this is a composition where UOL is completely overwhelming Footballists at this point of the game. Again, they were waiting for the 2-item power spike coming from Rekna and his Alpis as well with the more of the later scaling. And, after getting a little bit dicey in the later stages of this game, they decided to set up a Death Rush. And the response coming from Footballists, they're going to set up a Death Rush too, and it worked out so well.
Ooh, and I'm going to say this again. A lot of good fights, a lot of good initiates, a lot of good CCs coming in from the side of Unicorns of Love. Problem is though, they tend to overcommit or use a lot of ultimates just on 1 or 2 champions, which once the skills are on cooldown, it is just gonna be Footballists jumping in, re-engaging, and it's gonna be a crazy fight, part 2. But I also would have to commend Swiss here with the engage. Was able to wither down a lot of HP bar for the side of Unicorns of Love. Also, Lucian from the blue side, he was able to pop the calling at the perfect time, at most perfect times, was able to dash in as well. However, the follow-up tends to not be there. See, blue team was able to get Mountain Drake. It's just that they were not able to utilize it because Corky Valkyrieing his way in. It's just a huge problem for the side of Unicorns of Love.
I know Rekna has been opting for the flanking Corky time and time again. I mean, the first 2 instances didn't work out so well, but of course, once he manages to get the 2 items and then Wit's End on top of that, he was able to survive longer in the fights. And what a game number 2! That means Footballist is now match point. How will Unicorns of Love recover from this? Will we see a reverse sweep this time around for our grand finals?
Okay, that is possible given that Unicorns of Love, they still are a strong team, but Football is just really showing up, really stepping up. They are just saying, we want a clean 3-0. We want to start the day, the grand finals, with a 3-0. But yeah, I guess it's back to the drawing board yet again for Unicorns of Love. The Sona Sarah composition did not work, so maybe go back to default, go back to what they're comfortable with.
It is a possibility. We may see, air quotes standard lanes with the AD carry and the duo lane, but maybe they have more tricks up their sleeve.
More tricks up their sleeves? I would love to see that as we hop into game number 3. I'm trying to be intense here. Game number 3. It took us 4 days to witness this fight. But now, footballists, they are looking very, very strong. What will Unicorns of Love do? Only one way to find out because we're gonna hop into the pick and ban phase in a bit. So yeah, same bans maybe from the side of footballists. I still expect an Ari ban though from the side of Unicorns of Love.
And they don't want that snowball potential. And Ari's just so good. You can pair it with a lot of the early game junglers as well. Even the Xin Zhao that Footballist constantly is picking up. Or rather, even in the entirety of the Origin series so far, as July is concerned. Now, Camille, Garen getting taken out by Unicorns of Love. I sense a Renekton pick possibly from UOL. But the bans are so different now. Ari is open, Yuko.
Oh, okay, that is gonna be a huge pickup for either of these teams, but Galio's still not gonna be seeing the light of day. I'm not sure if we're gonna be seeing a Braum ban, given that he was open in game number 2, but no team actually picked him up. Now you have the Ziggs pick. Will Gragas be open? That is gonna be the question. No one is picking Olaf. Akali being banned. So okay, Gragas is open. You also have the Ari open. It's just basically pick your poison.
Yeah, I wonder, Unicorns of Love, I feel like they can pick up the Renekton here. They can pick up the Olaf, actually, as well. Just because, what are your other disengage options? I mean, Galio is just one of those picks that you use as well against heavy melee compositions, and now it's gone. So this is an opening. And now Ari will be picked up alongside this Renekton. So I wonder what early game jungler, Footballist is going to pick up.
Lee Sin is open, but it got picked up by Unicorns of Love. So maybe we could look at a Jinzhao or a Wukong. Also, the Renekton Ari combo, very, very strong because with the charm or with the stuns coming in first, it's going to be very easy to land the other CC. Senna is still going to be picked up by Unicorns of Love.
There it is!
Again, good roots, but that is going to be the Olaf, the first Olaf for the day.
Yeah, first Olaf in the series. I expect a Seraphine or a Nami being picked up here. They need something that can accelerate the team once Ragnarok gets popped off rather. Senna, Pantheon actually getting picked up as well. So this could be a Pantheon Senna combo in the bottom side of the map. Unicorns of Love really loves their Senna plus melee composition. But no, I suppose, actually, it still could be. It could be a Corki in the mid lane. It's still going to be set up Pantheon, and then Lee Sin for the jungle, and then Gragas for top side. But, you know, no Nabi, no Seraphine, not even a Lulu for this Olaf. So they're going to be heavily relying on this Janna for the disengage. They were basically eeny, meeny, miny. Owing. Is that a word? I suppose
yes.
So. Either they want to disengage or they want something that can propel the team. And you know what? Footballist decided to opt for the first.
I guess it's just their lineup is all about, you know, jumping in, CCing in, Ragnaroking. I'm really making up a lot of new words now. Ragnaroking your way in. So they just need that champion that can go with disengage. And whenever I think of disengage, it's gonna be Moonsoon. And Moonsoon, it's gonna be Janna. So it's just them trying to balance out their composition. But of course, Unicorns of Love, I feel like this lineup has their trademark, has their marking, and I guess they're much, much more comfortable with this. So without further ado, let's jump into game number 3.
Match point already for Footballist. Unicorns of Love is going to have a tough time climbing back into this series. They still need to win 2 straight games to take it to game number 5. And now, question is, will Footballist take that crown away from Unicorns of Love during this, July Grand Final?
Ooh, Cold Star is just gonna get a few EXPs here and there from the mid lane just to stop Rekna from trying to duke it out against this core team. That's been the small bombs being popped here and there. Vision given, but not much champions has been shown. Olaf minding his own business in the early game, just gonna get that buff. And pretty standard start for this Renekton, just getting minions. That's it, just farming. Quite a quiet early game.
I feel like it's not going to be quiet anytime soon because we're looking at a Pantheon and Lee Sin jungle duo, hoping jungle and top duo, hoping to shut down a Renekton. Remember, Renekton's strength is level 3, and Cold Star's strength is level 2, and now he's taking advantage of the burst and the stun he has, while, Kaglian still doesn't have his full kit, full combo, but at the same time, Honeyfruit already being picked up. He has the HP lead. Look at him go!
Stuns are gonna connect. Ignite is still available. Will you flash in? Okay, I guess Cold Star just wants to play this one safely, but you are right. The power of the Pantheon at level 2, the moment he gets level 2, is definitely pushing through. Renekton then is just forced to jump back, forced to go back to the base, and looking at the Dragon side, Gragas is there. It is gonna be a Gragas support in the early game. Vision given, that is gonna be the barrel receiving being thrown
No, the
off
body
with some
slam
damage. You have the body slam that is gonna connect onto nothing, but now you have Zac receiving a lot of damage that is gonna be flashed in. Boys, you're not gonna connect. That is gonna be the first blood going over to Ari. Lee Sin was the first one that fell down from the side of Unicorns.
There's another
that
fight,
felt
though.
bad, but oh no, that is gonna be the charm connecting as well as the orb reception coming through as well. But you know what, Cold Star, he is kind of tanky, so he survived that skirmish.
That is the reason why they wanted to keep banning out Rekna's Ari. Pre-level 5, Ari is incredibly strong, not really reliant on, the Spirit Rush just to make an impact with the jungler, with Suisse. But meanwhile, for top sides, Kaglian is able to at least catch up in level, so he is going to be fine for now. But the struggle would be, Suisse will have to maybe be torn a little bit, focus on farming, or perhaps just help out Kaglian as well at the top side. Let's take a look at that again. Zac, I was for the first one to initiate that fight. He was almost dead, but the heal will come in even though the burn was basically proccing. And that is, I suppose, the issue. If you're a Lee Sin and there's an Ari on the opposite side, you go in, you're expecting that resonance strike, and then and then Sonic Wave rather, and then you get the charm in.
And then that's just the power of Rekna, I guess, in this area. This is probably why Ari got banned in the first 2 games. Let's see if Footballers will be able to just utilize this champion. But for now, it is going to be the charms connecting yet again. She still has Ignite, but chooses not to use it. Corki being forced to be a bit more conservative, forced to just stay at the safe side. Panther not gonna commit though in the mid lane. You also have Olaf just there near Ari, so he does have Ragnarok ready. Sumite is gonna be there as well. He doesn't have Flash though. However, for the side of Renekton, he has Flash. He also has Barrier. Will be able to survive this in case Pantheon and Lee Sin decide to say hello or gank his lane. Are we gonna see this happen though? You also have the kick available for Colesto.
Yeah, Dragon's Rage. Celeste is finding the perfect timing, considering the fact that Suisse is in the opposite portion of the map. Kaglian has been hugging his tower, so after the initial duel, now it's Air Drake though. Looking at UOL, they want to contest this. They don't want to go topside and then get the Rift Herald. Instead, they want to fight.
Oh, that's BA. Wait, body slam and then flash in, but you also
What a
have
cast.
it coming through red team. Was able to get the Cloud Jacket. That is with the Moonstone being potting as well. You have one champion down. Sui saying goodbye as well as that Janna, but that is going to be A-okay for Unicorns of Love. They will be happy to get that trade. They're going to rotate over to the mid lane. Few movement speed boosts here and there. Now you have Rekna. Not sure if he's going to pick a fight, but looks like that is going to be a free Rift Herald for the men in blue.
Yeah, UOL, very happy about that pickup. They weren't able to contest the Air Drake in time, but this is a big bonus. They can actually open up either the mid lane or possibly the top side, maybe give a bunch of turret platings to the Pantheon to further enable a snowball. Really good cast, by the way, coming from Zac. There's just a ton of damage on the board coming from the side of UOL. We get to see Electrocute's proc actually from the side of Footballers, but not gonna be enough. This could be a gank though.
Jump in from Lee Sin, Howling Gale not gonna come through. You also have the IK turn Rainbeam Pop. Font of Life is gonna be proc. But you know what, Footballers, they're just gonna be more conservative now. Rekna, given that there are 4 champions down at Dragon Lane, he is gonna try and get this turret, but Cold Star alongside Zac did sense his presence, so they're gonna take over to his lane, which is gonna push Ari back. Could go over to the Baron lane to help Renekton get that Baron lane turret. However, blue team has summoned the Rift Herald here at the mid lane. Looks like they would just want to keep the lead that they have. But still, Caglion will be able to get the first outer turret for the Baron lane side. UOL though is going to be able to get one mid lane turret. Here comes Ari with the movement speed. Not sure if the charm is going to come through. They are just going to focus on taking another Rift Herald. Howling Gale is going to be popped in. Then again, the Killer Instinct is still available for Kai'Sa.
They're gonna reset. They're happy just getting that tower down and unleashing the Rift Herald. Not as maximized as they'd hope, but at the same time, better than never. Better now than never. Looking at the items, though, we're seeing Ashe opting for more of a stacking maneuver or a stacking approach with the Manamune being picked up. Essence Reaver being picked up already as well. So a lot of mana sustain, I suppose, and as well. So the crit's gonna hurt, coming from this Corki.
It definitely will. It definitely that is gonna happen. But that's gonna be the charms connecting Ashe. Who down to the last two bars of her. But you know what? That's gonna be the Pantheon jumping in with the ultimate. But Ari is not gonna see the light. Gonna see the light of day. Janna saying goodbye as well. 2 kills, 2 champions already down for Footballers. They are spread quite thin, so I don't think Unicorns of Love will be able to follow up on the first 2 initial kills. At the very least, they can just shove the wave at the Baron side or look for their next target. They could still go on the hunt.
Yeah, they can still set up a death brush. Sweet. Sweet. He does have Ragnarok, so he can possibly run away from this.
Hendai! The SNB jumping coming in for the side of Olaf will be enough for SNB. No, because he is A-okay! You're right! Ragnaroking. I'm gonna keep on saying that word. Ragnaroking his way to safety. He did not die. But you know what? Renekton was there as well. A lot of burst damage from Ari as well. Kites coming through from Senna. Dash in. But a dash out coming from Lee Sin. Next dragon is gonna be up in 28 seconds. But you have the roots coming through from Senna. No one still dying. No casualties for both teams. I guess it's just all about UOL. Unicorns of Love, rather, being able to be more comfortable and be more confident with their decision making.
Yeah, they're just going all in. And this is actually a big win for the side of Unicorns of Love because they baited out the flash. But let's take a look at this again. Really, again, Zax's the cast has been very, very on point. They're even able to get a big bonus as well on the support. But a flash gone on an Olaf. That means he's going to be vulnerable on this dragon fight for sure. And I believe UOL just wants to take advantage of that. Sweet. Already has Ragnarok though. But once he goes in, he has no way out.
Charm. Okay, not gonna connect. Void Seeker is gonna connect, but I don't think Kai'Sa is gonna pop her Killer Instinct in the area. Both teams just gonna let go of this dragon. They are gonna go to Dragon Dance. That is gonna be a dash in for the side of Rekna.
Wow.
1 champion already down. Graga saying goodbye. That's gonna be a 2-3 champion knockup. But you know what? Moonsoon healing coming through from Janna. Double kill going over to do this Olaf. That is gonna be Lee Sin being taken down. Olaf does get person down by Senna. But you know what? The 1v1 is gonna come through. Pantheon forced to pop his ultimate conservatively. That is gonna be just rather this Renekton with the stuns connecting was able to slice and dice his way out. Rekna not being able to get another kill, but overall that is gonna be a win for the side of Footballists at 2-3 even to 1 in favor of the red side.
Yeah, really, really nice fight there from Footballists. Let's take a look at that again. Basically, both teams ignored the dragon. And again, Rekna's charms have been on point time and time again in this entire fight. And that is the reason now we're seeing why Unicorns of Love kept banning that champion and now unleashed it into the field. And you know, Cold Star just wanted to run away with the Grand Starfall. This is round number 2. This is take 2 for the Ocean Drake.
Ooh, okay, but still that's the Footballist being able to have first dibs on this dragon. Baron is now up. Cold Star is gonna try to stun someone now, but I see the roots coming through for Olaf. Actually, the first champion to get taken down. Lee Sin far at the back line. Kai'Sa being bursted down as well. But here comes the strong re-engage. Roots coming through. Double kill going over to Rekna. Corky saying goodbye, and that is gonna be a 3-2 in favor of Unicorns of Love. A flash to the side from this Janna just to make sure that she will not get bursted down. And a free Ocean Drake going over to Unicorns of Love.
That felt like Footballists win, fight to win. They were winning the numbers advantage. Rekna was pretty much still healthy. And I want to look at what happened there. This was a really nice bait coming from Zach. He was incredibly low, forced Footballist to overcommit. Kalesa was basically not present for the entirety of the fight because he was pretty much low and was able to set up. But look at this! Look at this! He dashed in, Spirit rushed in, but Pygus and Caglian cannot join them behind that Dragon Spit, so he lost the numbers advantage on that 3v3.
Okay, I guess we are now back in 11 minutes into the game, 9-6 on the scoreboard. Still a lot of advantage still in the side of Footballist. They have the goal lead, but at the very least, Unicorns of Love, they can force these 5v5s, 4v5s onto Footballist and then survive. They just have to make sure that Rekna will not be in the fight. This is a good try. You have the cast, you have the barrel coming through, but that is going to be Kaisa, still very healthy. Rabadon's already available for Rekna. Oh no. That is gonna be the power spike. The green light for Footballist to keep on pushing Unicorns of Love in this awkward or force their opponents in this awkward fight. But still, they could just go back with the pickoffs, make sure that they can rip the life of the ADC down to the ground. The Baron is still up, just waiting for a good opening. Lee Sin spotting Renekton there. That is going to be the Orb of Deception being popped at the mid lane. Nope, not going to connect. That is going to be Renekton being A-okay. Senna jumping in with the Initiate. Are they going to pull through? The Charm is going to come through, and that's a lot of damage going over to Lee Sin, honestly. But you also have the heals coming in from Senna.
Yeah, that's just, what, one Charm, one combo with Orb of Deception with the shield now coming in.
Ultimate already being popped by Senna. But looking at the Dragon Lane, they have their own fight. That needs to be Renekton jumping in. Stuns are gonna come through, but the damage is not gonna be enough to take this Renekton down. That is gonna be a kill going over to Footballist. They can get Baron or maybe force a 4v5. Charm not gonna come through. You still have Gragas with the explosive cast. You have Lee Sin with the kick as well.
4v4.
No heals for Senna just yet, though. That is gonna be Renekton focusing on the split push. That is gonna be the Charm not gonna connect. That is gonna be them going with the re-engage. That is gonna be the cast coming through for Gragas. Special delivery onto the side, connecting also onto the Valkyrie. No one still dying. Unicorns of Love, they do not want this to happen again. You need to recall. Just push Renekton back. Don't let him do the backdoor again.
Yeah, that is exactly why Unicorns of Love couldn't commit 100% on that fight. Let's take a look at that again. This was the 1v1 of Cold Star and Caglian. And at this point, once Caglian has Dominus, there's basically no way you will win that duel. You have to wait for it to expire. But the thing is, you're Pantheon. You have no way out. All you do is go in. That's exactly what we saw. Now, this could be the second tussle, the second defense that UOL wants to do. Again, Footballist is now at match point. And as we can see, Cold Star most likely opting for maybe a Sterak's just to be a little bit more tankier, just to survive the onslaught of Caglian, because he went for more of a tankier build for this Renekton.
Okay, that is. I like how Unicorns of Love is grouped together too. They're much more comfortable with full-on team fights. However, I guess the damage from Footballist could wither down at the late game, aside from Kaisa and Renekton, of course. Now, Unicorns of Love, they're just taking time bomb. They're waiting for it. Jaga is now up though. Gragas just throwing a small barrel then and there. You have the Pantheon with the Initiate who was able to stun Ari to the ground. Here comes the teleport. That is Nadir Knight saying hi, saying hello, but he does get rooted. He does not survive with the explosive cast, and now that is going to be Ellipsis. Very, very close onto the Lee Sin. Kaisa being taken down as well. That is going to be a 3-0 in favor of Unicorns of Love. Teleports coming through. This could be a free Baron for the men in blue.
Yeah, Footballist was not prepared for that engage from Cold Star. That stun, that easy stun. And Rekna, I don't think he has Zonias. I feel like he built, Proto Belt? We'll have to check that out. But a little bit more, I believe Rekna didn't have any sort of defensive maneuver. Remember, he had Flash, he has Ignite. All of these culminates to more on the aggressive side of things. Let's take a look at that again. Again, the grind Starfall found its target. They were aiming for Rekna. After Rekna's gone, then what else is the options for a footballist to fight back, to engage? That charm is that number one, very reliant engage for footballists, and now that was gone.
That is going to be G available for Callisto, and Blue Team being able to get Mountain Dragon. That's going to be the scaling composition, winning 15, almost 16 minutes in. So Football is still trying to look for their footing. Renekton, this guy, this player, still really committing with the split push. I guess I just want to run the 1-4 comp and just keep Pantheon away from them, because as you can see right after the Grand Starfall, a lot of damage has been dealt onto Janna, but they are gonna commit most of their bullets,
1v1?
most of their fights for Rekna, but that is the Biko Star just running away. You have the shields coming through, but Renekton is not gonna stop anytime soon. Just kidding, he just stopped. So he's just gonna go back to safety. He did see the other members from the side of Unicorns of Love, did not want to die at this point of the game.
Yeah.
So both teams just trying to get a huge feel at the map.
Yeah, they're trying to take advantage of the Baron buff that they have. Look at the body slam!
Oh no, that is gonna connect, but you also have the charms. It is not gonna connect though. That is gonna be the missile connecting onto two. Took a lot of health bars coming out from Kaisar. Renekton, guys, remember, Renekton is still split pushing, so he could put a hole onto the base of Unicorns of Love. Yet again, now Footballists, they could just stop the recalls coming in. They are at the hunt. Corky is right there. Oh no, you still have Renekton still gonna focus on this turret, but he was seen by Corky. That is a very, very low health turret though. Now here comes the other members. SDB also will be committed onto him. He does get percent down, but now Lee Sin is being hunted by Footballists who try to duke it out against Kaisa, but they're not gonna do so given that Renekton, there is no crocodile for 42 seconds. That's a lot of seconds, a lot of time that they do not have one of their two frontliners.
Yeah, that's their split push gone. So that with that, they really need to set up for this Infernal Drake. This Elder Infernal Drake at that. It's that even when it comes to the gold lead, or gold score rather. Kills in favor of UOL, they are, taking advantage of Footballist opting for, just as you mentioned, the 1-4. They wanted to take advantage of that prime opportunity. But good news, at least for Footballist. 8 seconds on the clock for Kaglian to get back into this game. The thing is, though, Kalesso has Guardian Angel, so that is that second life that may be the biggest difference come into this game. 18 minutes already, by the way.
Okay, so now that is me. Football is just in a safe distance. Basically, they're scared of Rick standing because you have the explosive cast. Nice undertow, but I'm not sure if that gives much vision from the side of Unicorns of Love. Charles with the stuns connecting, but he was able to spirit rush her way out of there. She yeeted herself. That is going to be the ultimate coming from Senna. Baron Nashor already up. Footballists, they could go with the re-engage. That is too important ultimate down, but okay, this is gonna be them just gonna try and play this one out conservatively. You have the undertone being popped. Kaglian is gonna be there at the side, but that's a lot of damage being taken by Ari, and she does get exploded with the ultimate with that jump. And now you have the flash in coming in from this Lee Sin. Still has the GA killing spree going over to the side of Unicorns of Love. Two champions already down, but you have Kaglian, of course, still split pushing at the dragon side.
Yeah.
He has quite the minions, and he says, my job here is done. But Baron going over to Unicorns of Love.
It is still, Kaglian's job to try and split push. I mean, the fight was basically over anyway. And it's not like they can fight 5v5. This composition from UOL has everything. They have full-on engage. They can use the Dragon's Rage as a disengage tool as well. They have Ashy on his ult. And as well as the explosive cast is exactly what we saw. The double-man body slam from Zac was just phenomenal. And the finishing touches, just removing Rekna. Again, Rekna is a key player of this composition. If he dies first, then it's just basically game over for the entire fight. It's going to be UOL securing this Elder Drake.
Elder Infernal Trick, more damage, more lead from their side. Oh no, actually, Football is still up by 200 gold. I mean, 200 gold is still 200 gold, but just goes to show how much they're able to control the macro. So again, Unicorns of Love, they can just keep on doing these pickoffs. Make sure Rekna does not have room to breathe and just keep on shoving the minion waves towards the sides of Footballists. Let's see if they are gonna try to go with initiate. Charm has already been used. GA still up for Lee Sin, but now that is gonna be Unicorns of Love trying their luck. That is gonna be a lot of damage being taken by Kaglian. Apparently, you cannot go to split push this time around because they are just locking you into your base.
He has teleport. But the base is slowly going down. Look at the minion wave building at the bottom portion of the map. Is Kaglian waiting for an opportunity to sneakily press teleport? Look at the pings. There is the exclamation points. They're looking for it.
Are they gonna do it again? Okay, Lisa is already at the base,
so
so just to defend that one, they could go with a teleport, but that is gonna be them making sure that Unicorns of Love is occupied. But you know what? Lisa said, nope, not gonna happen. I'm gonna clear the wave here, but that's gonna be a lot of damage being taken by Footballists. You have the explosive pass being committed. Voice here gonna connect onto one, gonna connect on two, but that is gonna be another turret for the side of Footballists being taken down by Unicorns of Love. Super Minion already pouring, making their way towards the side of our red team. GA still up for Renekton, and Unicorns of Love, they are still respecting the fact that Footballists could still turn things around. That's why they're not overcommitting.
Yeah, they still have Elpis here. Again, as if he stays alive, he's getting all the best position in the world, is able to freely kite from the backline. I think that could be another key for UOL, or rather for Footballists. In the meantime, Unicorns of Love really wanting to open up the bottom portion because the tier 1 tower is still standing. And that could possibly end them, and the same goes for Footballists. Top side is completely open in their favor. Look at Kaglian. He's sneaking his way towards the base. He doesn't have any minions, so the backdoor protection will be there, but he installed a ward. He's ready for that teleport.
Yep, you know what? He is just making sure that he can still go with that backdoor play and then going back to his teammate. I'm not sure the Unicorns of Love did see that though. Pings going through the map. Baron gonna be up in 18 more seconds. Unicorns of Love, they are just focused on the objective game. Make sure that there will be no more turrets up for the side of Footballists. That is gonna be the TP coming through. Not sure if they're gonna engage just yet. Renekton coming in. He could be the beefy frontliner though. Baron already up. Here comes Lee Sin at the mid lane. Main waves pouring in towards the men in red. That is gonna be UOL. Just trying to kite. Roots are gonna come through, but it is not enough to actually take Renekton out just yet.
Is the reverse sweep coming? Unicorns of Love, they are aiming to win this. Look at the roots.
Oh, that is going to be the roots, and that's going to be Killings going over to Gragas. Ari saying goodbye. Now you have Kaglian at the front line. He is trying to reach this Corki, but you still have the Corki with the Gatling gun. Was able to pop GA. That is going to be Jana, the only one left there at the base. They are focusing on the Nexus Rampage going over to Gragas, and Unicorns of Law will be able to get game number 3.
And now it's 2-1 in this VO5 series. What a grand finale we are witnessing right now between these two teams. And Unicorns of Love managed to get every single objective, even getting that Elder Drake for themselves. At first, it looked pretty dicey for them, but at the end of the day, they were able to find Rekna time and time again and initiating the 4v5 scenario at almost all the time.
I know we have a lot of good plays in that game number 3, so let's go ahead and check the highlights.
There's just so much highlights here. It was what, a 25-minute game? I assume it felt like a 25-minute game because last time. And at this point, this is where this is where Rekna was able to get his RE pick and then is able to transition that with a lot of killer charms. But at the same time, you got UOL just against Zac. I think one of the key players in this particular match. The casts were on point. His death / body slams were just really very impactful in these fights.
And I guess the idea here is if Squeeze jumps in with the Ragnarok, everyone is gonna follow. But how are you gonna follow if you have a Grand Starfall coming from Pantheon. You also have the cast that can just separate from each other. So towards the late game, it was just UOL's patience definitely paying off. And the moment the stuns connect onto Rekna, the moment Ari does die, it's just going to be a huge problem for Footballists. But it is going to be the green light, the go signal for UOL to just go all in. You also have Colesto with the good isolation, with the good initiates, kicks again, and UOL really stepping up for this game number 3. Let's see, can they do a reverse sweep or will things end by game number 4?
Yeah, that is the biggest question. It will depend on what the draft is going to look like. I mean, two straight games, UOL has respected this Ari pick up against Rekna. Third game, they've unleashed it. It was a problem in the early game, but eventually they had a solution. Every single time that Grand Starfall was activated, their target, they just funnel all their resources onto Rekna, and it's basically mission accomplished. They've assembled the 4v5. Kaglian was basically on split push duty just because he wasn't able to propel in the early game. It wasn't allowed to be a bully because of that Pantheon matchup at top side, and that is the reason why he decided to opt for more of this tanky build to survive a little bit more, especially when he does split push.
Indeed. Also, in that last bit, Colesto just focusing on the Nexus. Like, yeah, guys, go kill them, and then I'm gonna be here taking out the Nexus. But yes, with that intense game number 3, let's just jump into game number 4. Unicorns of Love definitely not giving up just yet. They will just go all in. They are showing Footballists that, hey, no, you will not be seeing a three zeros. We are gonna try to take you guys down as well with a possible reverse sweep. So again, 2-1 on the scoreboard. Footballist is the one that's up on one game. But game 4, what could we expect as we get ready for the pick and ban phase?
I guess they are ready to unleash the Ari. They said, okay, it's not really exactly a problem. Maybe it was a problem in the first 10 minutes of the game, but they dealt with it. Unicorns of Love now on that red side. So I'm curious to see what the priorities are going to be. Football is still not going to stray away from the usual Galio ban. But the more that you ban out all of these anti-melee champions like the Galio, like the Gragas, then this could open up another possible Olaf composition. But again, maybe it's needed to be paired with a Nami, a Seraphine perhaps. But UOL gonna ban out that Garen, so maybe we get to see a Pantheon top lane once more.
Or they could still go with the Renekton Baron lane. I mean, it was pretty good in game number 3. Jin Zhao still going to be a ban. Brom, not going to be seeing the light of day for this game number 4. Camille and, like what you said earlier, Galio still not going to be up for grabs. Gragas is open. Renekton is open. Ari is going to be banned though.
Yeah, that means Footballers can pick up the Gragas. They get first pick Gragas. UOL doesn't want to pick up the Olaf for themselves, so this is an opportunity for blue side to assemble a possible Olaf composition. I mean, they wanted to make it work earlier, but unfortunately it did not. Ziggs is open this time around, so punishing tower takes. He did get a little bit nerfed in 2.4, but he still gets the job done.
Mega Inferno bombs coming in from the mid lane, going over to the Baron or at the Dragon lane. Lee Sin though is still going to be picked up by UOL. I like that they did this. Here we go. Gragas for the first pick, but Footballists, they're still gonna stick with this Olaf. Ragnarok is way in, plus a Corki this time around. So you have a frontliner, but you also have someone or a champion that is just there in the back line that can dish out and wither down the life bars of Unicorns of Love. Nami finally being picked up.
Yeah, that means what? Footballist wants to pick up a Lulu or a Seraphine. So those are the only 3 supports that synergizes well with an Olaf pick if they want to do build around it. But on the other side of the spectrum, a Nami Lucian is a very oppressive lane. So now what is the choice of Footballist? Maybe they pick up a Seraphine or a Janna. That is now them picking up a Janna, a little bit more safe on their dual lane, considering that they have to face that Lucian Nami at the bottom side of the map.
I mean, if you have a tidal wave coming through, you're gonna expect a lot of champions right at your face. So Moonsoon, nope, and then you're gonna just gonna yeet yourself out there. Last pick though for Unicorns of Love is still gonna be Pantheon with those very oppressive Grand Starfalls. I am excited. I'm sure you guys are too. So without further ado, let's jump into game number 4.
It is still match point for Footballists. They've come so close to take that crown away from Unicorns of Love. But at the end of the day, UOL is surviving in this series. They want to defend their crown. They want to defend their title as grand champions of Group A from last month's monthly finals of the Origin series. And now we're looking at this bottom lane. Zach and Ashy are in a very oppressive lane. I know way back League PC, the throwback was Lucian plus Braum. Very, very a strong lane bully combination. But in Wild Rift, one of those pairs is also Lucian Nami, with a lot of pokes, with a lot of heals. The movement speed for Zach on this Lucian to land more auto attacks and to proc everything else. I think it's working well. Culling plus Tidal Wave as well, just as you mentioned, is just very synergized.
And I also just say that you were right. There is going to be a Pantheon Baron lane for UOL. That is going to be the stuns connecting, but I don't think Kaglian will commit just yet. He's not yet at level 3. And so, still gonna be a quite the quiet mid lane. Corki just ramping up his damage. Olaf minding his own business as well. I'm actually waiting for Colesto to start with the rotation. Maybe even Cold Star to, just pop his ultimates and just have this semi-global presence for the side of UOL. For the side of Footballist, though, I'm just waiting for Squeeze to, the usual play with an Olaf. Press Ragnarok, literally just press R, and then you're gonna look for your next target. Could be Ziggs, could be Lucian, could even be Nami.
Yeah, he is a very scary level 5 monster for sure once he has that Ragnarok. Just no one can stop him at all. He's also very good at the early game skirmishes for Rift Scuttler takes. Rift Scuttler contest. But it is going to be a trade, or rather 1-for-1 apiece for both of these junglers. We talked about the oppressive lane. We're looking at them now. They have the priority over at bot side, and it's even more dangerous if you pair that up with a jungle Lee Sin. Colesto possibly looking for a dive here.
He could jump in with a dive. We also have Ziggs jumping in. He does have the Mega Inferno Bomb. That is going to be the Alpha Boost and connecting. You also have the bombs coming in. That is be the first blood going over to the team onto the red side. Kai'Sa being taken down. You have the Gatligan coming through from Corki. But there was no other follow-up kills. At the very least, they were able to take down the ADC.
That is mission accomplished. First blood in favor of UOL. And that is something that they will welcome wholeheartedly. And we talked about this. We are expecting more ganks at bot side. For the top side, though, this is an awkward matchup for Cold Star. If you want to dive in, or jump in rather, with a stun at least. But before we go over to that, let's take a look at that replay. Ashy with the MVP bubble, which resulted into the death of Elpis. And just swiftly, there's so much mobility on the side of UOL, so they can just take names and then basically get out. Going back to the top lane matchup, though, come level 5, it's a little bit awkward. Cold Star more on the utility side of things to be effective, while Kaglian, with the explosive cast, he can use it in a 1v1 scenario. So Cold Star, in this point of the game, may get shoved into his own tower, which makes it a bit awkward because you want to get priority to access opportunities for that Grand Starfall.
That is true. Oh, okay. But now the first streak is going to be up in 21 seconds. Janna alone did use Howling Guild just to check if there is someone hiding at the bushes, but apparently that is going to be a no. So ultimates are available for both teams except for the Moonsoon. But looks like this could be an opening for Footballers. I mean, try to have first dibs on the Jake, but apparently you have Nami, you also have Lucian, plus a Lee Sin already there at the Dragon's Pit. At the very least, Footballers, they could take down the Herald. However, Cold Star is lurking at the sides. He is level 6. Almost a level 7, non-contested Drake for Unicorns of Love. That is going to be a solo dragon take for Colesto.
Yeah, we're seeing now the 2.4 trades of the Rift Herald versus the Drake. Is it an Air Drake? Do you want the Air Drake? Is it an Infernal Drake? Do you want to contest the Drake? Now it's just going to be a trade of the Rift Herald. I think this is going to put access for topside if ever Footballist decides to use the Rift Herald and open up the map a little bit more.
Making his way in. Now you have this Corki, you also have the tidal wave being popped in there. You have the Moonstone coming through. Quantifier is going to be proc. You have the Aquabus is not connecting. But it's going to be the Mega Inferno Bomb being popped as well. No casualties just yet. 5 minutes in. Bouncing Bombs is going to be there too. You know what? There is no wave, so I don't think Unicorns of Love can take down this turret just yet. Now you have Janna all alone. There is a huge wave of minion plus the satchel coming in from Ziggs. That is going to be the first turret being secured by Unicorns of Love.
1v1. This is not going to be pretty if Colessa stays a while. But now, yeah, that's the power of a Ziggs. Despite the nerfs again, with the threshold being a little bit lower for the satchel to proc on towers, he's still pretty much very effective just because of the bombs. Basically scares out anyone that is going to be under tower. Therefore, you afford the space to commit.
You do have the calling, but that is going to be the explosive pass being used by Gragas just to make sure that no one will actually dash or maybe even just catch him off guard. And he does go over with the recalls. Triforce already available for Rekna. So that is something that Footballist could note. That's the Gold Star alone at the Dragon side. You have the switcheroo for the lanes now for the side of Unicorns of Love. Still quite a quiet map. Kaisa coming in with the recall. Let's see if she already has her first item available, but I don't think so. It's not yet the 7-minute mark. You have Corky being taken down. You also have the Mega Inferno Bomb coming through, but still does not change the fact that Rekna has been wrecked.
Rekna has been wrecked. A very... I like that. I like that. But
thank you.
Now this could be take 2 of a tower take. The Ziggs is not present. He's not going to be around anytime soon. So UOL can just buy some time, maybe get a little bit of those turret platings.
Ooh, you have the sustain coming in from Nami. You also have the Aqua person connecting onto one. The calling has been popped as well. You have the explosive minefield coming through. No one died, but that is just a lot of blinking life bars for Footballists. Unicorns of Love very much happy transitioning into this game number 4.
Yeah, this is UOL getting in with the groove now. They started off with a very rough 0-2 in this series, picked up earlier, and now it's starting to look very, very good. And the reverse sweep seems to be in the horizon. But take note, Footballists, because their carries are still not prime and ready, Rekna still has to wait for that Infinity Edge. Because of that Triforce first buy, that means they're opting for maybe the Infinity Edge, which means he is gonna hurt faster or sooner into this game rather than the stacking on the Muramana. For Elpis, of course, Kaisa gonna scale into the later portion of things. So Rekna will be that primary pain for UOL on top of Sweet.
7 minutes in, almost 8 minutes actually, just 2 kills on the board in favor of UOL. They do have the roughly 2.2k gold lead. They could utilize this further, given that they have a Ziggs. So they would want to end the game ASAP. On top of that, they have a Lee Sin. It's all about the early game power, just getting a lot of turrets in the early game. Infernal Drake is going to be up in 7 seconds. So you have the phase checks coming through. You have the bombs there as well. He does have the package that is going to be Lee Sin jumping in, but he did not commit his pick just yet. Was able to pop Valkyrie out though. Lucian hurting a lot. That is a Olaf in Ragnarok, good sir. But as we tell, connecting on to no one. You also have Pulsar at the front line. He does flash into the side. You have him being able to isolate this Gragas. You have the dash in. It's actually Sonic wave his way in. Gragas saying goodbye. Lee Sin being able to get the first kill. That is going to be a 1-0 in favor of Unicorns of Love.
Really nicely done by Unicorns of Love on that fight. They will even get a bonus of Infernal Drake on top of kills. Was a little bit concerned because Caglian was a topside split pushing. So it was a firstly, 4v5 for the first 5 seconds of that fight, but he did, I believe, have teleports. He was able to join the fight. But unfortunately, though, Footballists still wasn't able to find the opportunity to get possibly Sweet rolling here on this Olaf. It's very hard to reach the back line. They're very, very far. They're pretty much far back, and as well as the disengage coming from the side of UOL makes things a little bit harder, or rather, Ashy rather on this Navi makes things a little bit harder with the tidal wave.
Especially that they were in a small space, I'd like to call it. I mean, there's no other way to avoid that trap. The cast coming through was able to push both of them back, but I don't think they are gonna give up just yet. Baron is gonna be up in 15 more seconds. Ping's going through the map. Lee Sin is up there at Baron, all alone. What could Footballers do? But now, I guess it's gonna be back to the drawing board. It's just them waiting for themselves to scale and maybe wait for Rekna to just be this huge or this scary champion at the backline. However, I keep on thinking there's Mega Inferno Bomb, so they can reach the carries either way. You also have the Culling. Yes, that can be casted quickly with the Howling Gale from Janna, but it's still a problem. This Lucian is still gonna be a problem.
Yeah, there's just so much damage on the board and repositioning coming from Zac on this pick. So Footballers really, if they want to eliminate him right away, they have to hold on to him and never let him escape.
Ooh, okay, nice. Maybe the sun connecting on to Cold Star, but there is no follow-up. Now, Footballers, they are left to struggle. Who are they going to target? What are they going to do? Are there any more objectives that they can take? Because it looks like Unicorns of Love there. The longer the series is, the stronger they become. The more team fight centric they become. They have better comms, but let's see what is going to happen next. They're just going to focus on getting this turret. You also have Zig, of course. Zig is going to be able to explode that turret very quickly.
Yeah, just doing Zig's things, just raining bombs on you under your tower, and then you're just forced to respect that. But the thing is, for Unicorns of Love, this isn't exactly a 5v5 teamfight comp. No one can frontline. Cold Star, Colesso are going to be incredibly squishy because of the shred coming from Rekna and Elpis eventually, especially when the later stages of the game arrive. So UOL will bank on picks here, and as well as collapses whenever Footballist is going to be in not in a prime position, so they can kite down Sweest as well, primarily since he's going to be the first one that gets his head on towards the whole entire fight, especially up against UOL. But yeah, I imagine UOL may struggle eventually, especially when Sweest presses that go button.
Pulsar is just gonna hold this ground, gonna protect this turret with his life. Kaguya will just be forced to go back. You possibly have a 1-3-1 setup for Football that is gonna be the body slam connecting, but Coalstar is still pretty tanky, still pretty strong. But looking at the Baron part, the top part of the map, that is going to be the men in red being able to get more turrets for their side, more gold, more breathing room for them to be able to rotate, and they are going to transition maybe to the Baron. No, okay. Red team turret has been taken down though. They are checking if there is anyone from Football's side. Apparently, there is some at the mid lane. Ziggs is still pretty much happy just lurking at the lane.
He's just happy clearing the waves, just possibly waiting for his third item to be complete. Meanwhile, Guardian Angel for Colesso. So they're looking into setups. They're looking for Colesso to be that primary engage on top of Cold Star with a Grand Skyfall or Starfall. And Sweest now with that Stair Axe and Death Dance. So once he comes in, he's going to be a little bit more tankier rather and going to survive a little bit more. So UOL has to be careful and see when pick their targets. But again, this is a Ziggs. This is a Lucian. I feel like Sweest, maybe those two items are still not going to be enough for his survivability in the fight.
Maybe not just it. Both major objectives already up though. Looks like that is going to be Footballist prioritizing the Drake, whereas Gragas is just being chased at the Baron lane. Like, hello, you have 4 champions right behind you. You're going to be the sacrificial lamb. That is going to be him being knocked up. Body slamming due to safety, but the kites, the damage is not going to be enough. Teams be going over to Lucian. At the very least, blue team was able to get the Mountain Drake. They are going to rotate over to the mid lane. More shields, more sustain for their side, but I'm not sure that is going to be good news for them. You have the explosive mindful being popped as well. Special delivery has been popped by Rekna. Lee Sin just being very aggressive. That is to connect onto Olaf. Will you kick him? That is the be a no, but that is the be Lee Sin. he did overstay his welcome. He does have GA though. Now you have the Musun coming through for the side of Jana. That is to be Corky, the first one to fall down. You have the bombs, you have the guns just coming through right at Footballers' faces. That is to be the last outer mid lane turret down, and Unicorns of Love, they want more. They are just storming onto the base of Footballers. That is to be the last mid lane turret down. First hole in the base just 14 minutes in.
It is. It is very early. It's 0-5 on the scoreboard. There is a 8k gold lead in favor of Unicorns of Love. I do want to touch upon the double teleport pickup here. I suppose they do want to set up for maybe, just as you mentioned, a 1-3-1. But let's take a look at that again. It is Kaleso just forcing the issue. He was chasing them down constantly and never stopping. And it's only because Cold Star was just right behind him to engage and cut off the escape of Footballist. And it basically succeeded. They managed to get 2 members down off of that. And now the teleport is gone. Actually, it's different. Maybe it's just Caglian here on that teleport, as he is going to be on split push duty.
Earlier, that was also a very good tidal wave coming through from Ashy. So looking forward to seeing more of that. But now, Football is just honestly struggling, and UOL, they're basically the ones that's dictating the tempo, and the Footballist is just forced to react. That is maybe the Grand Starfall being popped by Cold Star did jump out just as quickly. I'm not sure if they used that to zone out or they wanted to go with the pickoffs, but now looking at the middle, you have Rekna being targeted by 2-3 champions. That is going to be the Flash coming in. You also have the Mega Inferno Bomb being committed, but now you have the stuns coming through from Cold Star. That is going to be enough because Corky does get taken down. On top of that, Tsunami and Tidal Wave is gonna come through. You have Lucian. He hurts a lot just kiting this Olaf down. But you know what? You thought they're safe? No, because Lee Sin is there coming into the mid lane. 2-0 in favor of Unicorns of Love. 0-7 on the scoreboard.
Caglian actually stopped the wave a little bit, like the second wave, just to make sure that Unicorns of Love cannot finish the game there and then. But now Baron is gonna be started now, with no jungler to help smite that down and make a possible steal. But look at Pygus and Elpis. They're lingering around, but I don't think they can do anything.
It was a good try, but now Caglian is in too deep. That is because stuns connecting, but you also have the Mega Friend Bomb being able to finish, just take the head off of the Stragas. 1 champion down, and Unicorns of Love being able to secure the barrier plus 1 kill. They're going to be very happy with that.
Very happy indeed. 60 minutes in the game, there's still no deaths on the side of Unicorns of Love. They have been constantly, they've been eliminating 1 person, 2 people from Footballist, and then getting out. No punish, no casualty whatsoever. It makes things extra harder with Sterak's and then Guardian's Angel for Kaleso and Cold Star. So they're going to keep engaging. They're going to keep diving into the backline. No fear at all, because they know that they won't die.
They will not die indeed. Now they could just make sure that there's no space or no room for Footballers to actually breathe. Sweet is gonna, oh no, that's the undertow connecting onto Noah, but you also have the Ragnar being popped defensively. Most gonna come through. Tidal Wave's gonna be popped as well, but Rapid's going over to Lucian, and now that is gonna be Unicorns of Love just at the front line. You also have Zack. He does become golden, but Cold Star in the middle of everything. He did not die. Double kill going over to Lucian, and he is, well, Coalesce around the edges of the front line. They are going to focus on to the Nexus. He does get taken, but that is going to be Unicorns of Love forcing this to a game number 5. Wow.
Oh my word. We're looking at a full-on Game 5 here, Hugo. What a comeback from Unicorns of Love on this series. It looked pretty dicey. It looked very dire for them in their first 2 games today, as Footballist was claiming every single time. But then the comeback, they can feel it. They can feel that they'll take the title once more.
Speaking of takes, speaking of amazing fights, let's check into the highlights of game number 4. Whew, from 2-0, now 2-2.
I know, this is a very close series, but this game is a statement. They did not allow any sudden deaths to happen, and basically blocked every single opportunity for Footballist to come back into this game. And these early game ganks, these early game aggression from UOL, just basically capitalizing on their composition. Cold Star on the Grand Starfall, Colesso on this Lee Sin, of course, he's going to keep ganking time and time again. And with Zac as well on this Lucian, there's just a ton of damage on board so early.
Man, and this is just Unicorns of Love. I like how they afford, or they have the luxury to bait someone from FUT Police, and then the moment they re-engage, it's almost a secure kill. 40 minutes onward, it was honestly just their game, and they were just literally storming through the map. Again, I said this earlier, they did not give any room for footballists to breathe. Cold Star being a lot more comfortable in this Pantheon. You have the stuns coming through. You also could see how Swiss was just forced to pop the Ragnarok defensively. There were times that Zac, he did not care. He would just keep on chasing down this Olaf, and Lee Sin will be able to take the kill just as quickly.
Exactly. They're no fear. They built Sterak's and then Guardian's Angel. And I think it's the reason why they're super brave is because they're no threat whatsoever against them. Rekna opted for more of this stunted build of, it's really good, Triforce and then Infinity Edge, but there's no scaling. You reach your limit so fast. And I feel like that also contributed to why it's go time. We can just do this. We can just keep pushing with our lead.
He did reach his limit, but you know which team is pushing the limit? Unicorns of Love. So let's jump into game number 5. Our prayers have been answered. We are now on a 2-2. We will be seeing a game number 5. This is the last game of the first series for the last day for the Origin series. And Riku, what could Unicorns of Love do to be able to win this with a clean sweep? Or what could footballists do to be able to bag game number 5?
I think the formula so far has been early game aggression and being able to hold on as well when things don't go your way early. It's just focusing on who has gotten the gold and just make it into a 4v5. That is what we saw in game number 3 and 4.
Will we see a Garen ban? Will we see a Pantheon pick? Let's check the pick and ban phase.
Very, very most likely that a Garen ban would be selected here, just because it opens up so many options for top lane without getting countered or soft countered in the lane. So there you go. Unicorns of Love just taking it out right off the bat.
Yep. And if you're gonna look back, the moment game 3 started, they kept on banning Garen. And I guess this could be another formula to, just making sure that the footballists will not be able to get the tacky frontliner. They are still gonna hold on to the Camille ban though, as well as the Xinjiao ban. So no crazy damage coming out from these champions. Galio is still not gonna be seeing the light of day. They could ban out Ari if they want to, but I strongly believe Olaf, Gragas, Trinecton still gonna be up for grabs for this game number 5.
Yeah, for sure. Especially Garen is out. That means Pantheon top can also be picked up. Sin's out top as well. If they ban out the Braum, no Braum. That means an Olaf composition is highly unlikely now in this scenario because the Gragas is open, because the Braum is open as well. And now Ziggs will be the first pick of Unicorns of Love. They're opting for a similar composition, perhaps just keep on raining down the bombs and forcing footballists out of the equation.
If you have Ziggs, it's just a matter of fact that you can take down turrets quickly. What does that translate to? An under 20-minute game. And you know which team shines at the 18 to 20-minute mark? Footballists. So maybe that's the formula that Unicorns of Love has been trying to do. And you also have another Lucian pickup, pairing it off with a Nami. You already made a good point for this combo, and I do agree with that. Gragas and Lee Sin will be picked up by footballists this time around. Let's see if they'll be able to, match the aggression that the Lee Sin from UOL was able to dish out.
They basically threw the towel. They basically waved a white flag. They opted for a Janna. That means more defensive. So they're not going to match the aggression here on this very aggressive Nami and Lucian lane. Now, Wukong getting picked up. Usually, it's really good with a Diana. It's usually good as well with a Galileo, but that's not going to be available. It is going to be the Renekton finishing the composition from Unicorns of Love. Now, what mid laner will... No, it's a Gragas mid and a Malphite top.
Okay, so Unstoppable Force is gonna be available, but I think you are right. This is just footballists forced to pick up Janna to be defensive. Whereas if you're gonna look at Unicorns of Love down here, right here, it's fight, 5v5s, just keeping on with the dives, just all CCing their enemies to the ground. So Unicorns of Love looking very, very strong this game number 5. However, footballists, whichever power they had in game number 1 and game number 2, they need to channel this to game number 5. So let's jump into the rift.
Yeah, this is match point for both of these teams. Game number 5, it's do or die. Will Unicorns of Love continue with their championship streak rather since last month and able to defend their title, or will Footballist, coming from 8th place last June, I believe, climbing to potentially 1st or possibly 2nd, depending on how this series ends.
Ooh. Rekna is now just forced to use this Gragas, and this is something Coolstar did in game number 4. Just get a few EXPs from the mid lane and then go back to the Baron lane just to have that small EXP lead up against a Malphite, which is going to be pretty quiet from the early game. So that is just going to be him. He does have the stuns. He does have quite the lead in the early game. But the moment Caglian reaches level 5, it is going to be quite the struggle for Coolstar. But he can just re-engage whenever he wants to. And again, looking at the Dragon side, Lucian Nami, very strong pick. Very sustain, all about the sustain rather, all about the fights, the pokes this earlier on. Whereas Elpis alongside Pygas is just forced to be passive and quiet in the early game. You have the explosive minefields being popped by that 6. And now Sweest is just gonna focus on farming, just get to ramp up that EXP lead and then just continue ganking the lanes. Could try and take a kill here at the Baron side. That is gonna be him. Well, that is gonna be Malphite being taken down. Blue team going over, being able to secure that first, but now that is gonna be Sweest being targeted by Colisso. Will it be enough? You have the Ignite coming through, but I don't think it is gonna finish him off, and it does not.
First blood in favor of, I believe, Footballist, and then the exchange kill just comes along. And with that said, no junglers here on this skirmish, though. This 2v2, it's a different 2v2 rather. It's a dual lane versus support and mid. But going back at top side, let's take a look at that again. You mentioned level 3, strong suit of a Renekton and Lucian. We've seen, Renekton and Lee Sin. And we've seen this on red side first priority pick. And even in the Summer Super Cup, it has been the prevalent duo that can easily snowball out of control. And this time, no, Garen is a Malphite that it doesn't do the same job as a big neutralizer, just because on how Coolstar dealt with the lane. He basically got that level 2 early over the level 1 Caglian because of his visit in the mid lane, and he basically set that kill up for that gank.
You have Lucian and Nami still holding their ground at the Dragon lane, just forcing the Dragon lane duo for a Footballist back under turret. You also have Wukong lurking at the sides though, but I don't think he is gonna gank the lane anytime soon. Ziggs going back into the mid lane, still has that bomb ready, as well as the summoner spells, and it's just a 1 on the scoreboard. Very small lead in favor of Footballist. The Unicorns of Love, they could just be waiting for their power spikes, could just be waiting for Ziggs alongside this Lucian to just pop off with that crazy damage. And at the very least, Footballist, you have this Gragas for disengage, but for going back into the Baron lane rather, Caglian being very, very healthy on this Malphite, he does have the Unstoppable Force. You also have Lee Sin lurking at the sides. They could try and gank or stop Cold Star from snowballing. But the first two main objective is gonna be up in 25 seconds. But you know what? Cold Star will be able to survive, popping in with his ultimate, popping out rather with his ultimate. But look at the
Mid
look at the
lane.
mid lane. Rekna being chased by three times. So
Wow.
that is gonna be a flash in as well as a tidal wave being committed just onto Rekna. He gets bursted down, and that is gonna be Unicorns of Love surviving, making out of that skirmish with smiles on their faces. They could get Rift Herald.
They will. They definitely will. And it's another Cloud Drake spawning as well. And Unicorns of Love are very happy to exchange that over opening the map up even more. Especially you have a Ziggs. Ziggs plus Rift Herald. Therefore, yeah, you can maximize the tower takes and as well as the opportunity to get more than the usual. Look at them. They're letting this through already because the resets are not going to be available for footballers.
True, and just constantly pressure footballers here and there, even though they were able to get Cloud Drake. It is, well, a Rift Herald is much better because you're able to get a turret down from mid lane. Now, Gragas just alone at the Baron side. Kaisa will be able to push the waves in at the Dragon side. Mid lane still pretty quiet. Recalls, resets going all over the map. You have the champions just getting their items ready, and we have a replay.
This is Rekna. He doesn't have any vision actually. He does have a little bit of vision over the dragon pit, but I think he overestimated his way to escape because he has the cast, and he did, I believe, have flash at that time. But it was Zach flashing in as well, and no fear. And just head straight to the goal. Now we're looking at the first item builds already. Bork already completed for Zach. Luden's Echo already for the Ziggs. So I believe he's going to wait for the Rabadon second item before UOL can be more comfortable in the later fights.
In retrospect, you now have Roa available for Gragas. That is going to be the Howling Gales connecting, but I don't think they're going to engage. UOL just trying to scout as much vision as they can. Tidal Wave is available if they want to go in with the dives because you have Kuleso alongside them at this lane, but you also have Lee Sin at the sides. IK will be able to clear that wave out. Not airborne, that no follow-up still. Footballers, again, they're just forced to play this defensive stance that is going to be Lee Sin jumping in, and the kick is going to connect. You also have the side of it coming in. Now you have the Mega Inferno bomb. You also have Malphite jumping in. He still has his ultimate though, but is going to commit this on to Nami. Nami will be able to flash away. But you know what? Zakio is there at the sides. Bouncing bomb is going to be there. You have Ziggs jumping in, flashing in, but it's not going to be enough. He really does want that kill. Footballers, though, they were able to get one kill, but it's going to be dead even unless UOL force this one out. Unicorns of Love, they could try something here, though, because Malphite is just going to go with the defense. Will try to defend this turret, but how can you defend a turret when you're up against a Ziggs?
It's really hard. You basically lost your AD carry already, pretty much. And let's take a look at that again. It was a great bait. And Kuleso lasted as long to the point that Elpis was forced to use the Killer Instinct to secure the kill. And that is the reason why Elpis was pretty much far ahead at this point, far forward, rather, into that fight. But at least Elpis is able to survive, I believe, after all that. He was able to run away. And now an invade on this jungle.
Squeezed. Okay, I guess I just want to get that buff, but that is going to be Wukong jumping in, but he does get stopped by that Howling Gale. But you know what? You have the tidal wave coming through. Font of Life is going to be proc, and that is going to be Rekna being boxed, Gragas being bursted down, and the other members of Football is forced to just survive, forced to run away. The calling has been popped there as well. You have a wave of minion there, but you know what? That Lucian is going to dash in. He does not care. He does have so much damage, though. Void Seeker is going to connect. You also have the explosive minefield, and Ziggs yet again will be able to get the turret from the Baron side. One outer turret down for Footballers.
It is now slowly ramping up in favor of UOL. You saw that earlier. Zach, after getting the third skill from Ashy, he just basically dashes in, and with the empowered auto attacks and as well as the slow, just lands even more opportunities to land all of those hits. But look at this possible death rush. There is full ults in favor of Futbolist. This could be deadly.
Let's see if that is what's gonna happen. Colesso receives quite the damage, but that is gonna jump in from the side of this Malphite. Will there be a follow? The answer is to be no, because instead Malphite is actually the first one to get bursted down. Now Football is forced to just go back. Retreat, but Killing Spree going over to Lucian. Now that is to be Lee Sin up to beat. 3-0. My voice broke there, but 3-0 in favor of Unicorns of Love. The calling has been popped. Gragas receiving a huge chunk of damage. Janna cannot jump in as well. The Infernal Drake will be taken down non-contested by Unicorns of Love.
That is this one of the most important dragons in the game as well. UOL has a ton of damage. It has a ton of damage on the board already, and they get this big bonus. And here comes the replay. Really good unstoppable force from the backline, but at the same time, the front line of Futbolist for basically falling into pieces already, with Zach leading the charge. Just so much damage on the board. I feel like Swiss didn't get the best deal out of that. He wanted to proc the Guardian's Angel in exchange of his life. So with that, he did get an early Zonius though. So that is the exchange. Instead of a second item Guardian Angel perhaps, or a first item Guardian Angel from what we've seen from some Lee Sins, this is the exchange that they decided to pick up.
Baron is going to be up in 5 more seconds, but Unicorns of Love, again, this is the same amount of confidence we witnessed in game number 4. They are the ones rotating all over the map. They're the hunters, and the Futbolist is just the hunties. They're the ones that's just forced to react. Whereas Unicorns of Love, they're the ones that can move around freely. If we're going to look at the board, gold lead of 4K in favor of the Men in Blue. They also have the kill lead, and they also have the turret takedown leads. So one of the things that Futbolist could do though for me is follow up on the ultimates coming in from Conglian right here. I mean, and he did not ult there, but you know what? That is to be the kick coming through. He is being boxed in. That is to be the time to be connecting onto Lee Sin. He was in too deep. Now you have a huge chunk of champions, one entire team right behind you. The bomb is coming through. Monsoon to the ground. But that is to be Unicorns of Love gonna utilize the lead that they had. Lucian does get taken down though. A shot down onto the ADC. That is gonna be a huge chunk of gold going over to Rekna, and he is just gonna go back to clearing out the minion wave. Renekton is far away, Wukong is far away. I guess Nami and Ziggs is just forced to go back and leave this turret to die.
That is an engage that Swiss wanted to take. It was Futbolist that wanted to start that. Imagine it's a double-edged sword kicking Colesso into your team. He is just gonna have access to an easy Cyclone, and this could be disaster once more.
Okay, let's see what's gonna happen next. Now you have Colesso on the front line, but that's gonna be a lot of damage coming out from the Mega Inferno Bomb. Will they be able to go to steal? It's gonna be Baron Nashor being taken down. Swiss does become golden, but Malphite is gonna be the first one to get taken down. Doppelkill going over to Ziggs. Killing spree for this champion. The culling has been popped. That is gonna be Lucian. Still pretty A-okay, still pretty healthy. They'll be able to clear out the wave. Minion wave from the mid lane is gonna hurt a lot. Rekna is forced to clear that one out. Voidseeker not gonna connect. Looks like UOL, they are at the lead. They have such a lead right now. Futbolist left to just wonder what could they do 12 minutes in.
We didn't. The thing is, they picked up this composition, or rather this Sleason pick. But before we go over that, this is what we talked about earlier. It's a double-edged sword. If you want to kick the Wukong to your team, it's gonna be an easy Cyclone access, and Colesso is just gonna clone out and disengage off of that. And this is Unicorns of Love turning this game or this fight around. And with that, it's just so difficult because there's just so much range coming from the side of UOL. And now you asked, what can Futbolists do at this point of the game? I mean, it's not exactly a super snowball. They even get a Baron on their hands. But this time, Swiss will be a kick bot eventually at the later stages of the game. The snowballing Lee Sin isn't found in this game. They still have Elpis though for that late game insurance. We'll see if that opportunity, or if Elpis will be given the opportunity to shine as we head over to this dragon.
Lucian was alone, but he dashed in. Now you have Cold-Star coming in with the ultimate. He is that huge frontliner for the side of Unicorns. That is going to be a title. You also have the Conning coming in. That is going to be the unstoppable force coming through from Malphite. But you know what? He was not able to pick up anyone. Instead, Kaisa was the first one to fall down. Ziggs being taken down by Greg as well. Shut down onto the Ziggs. But now you have Rekna being juggled, being boxed in by 3. He gets taken down as well. That is going to be a 2-1 in favor of Unicorns of Love. Killing Spree going over to Wukong. Blue team being able to get the Mountain Drake. More shields going over to their side. They can try and hunt Lee Sin down. Sweez is there. He can go with the recall though because Lee Sin is very, very slippery.
Yeah, 30 seconds, 15 seconds on the clock rather for the rest of the members to respawn. But looking at that fight again, I have to say though, gotta give props to Kaglian with a triple man unstoppable force. But the question is, where is the follow-up? Because they still have to rely on Alpis for that follow-up there for that consistent damage. But it's just still too much. At this point of the game, he's still not going to be that late-game monster, even though you have all the resources. You basically have, what, 3 peelers. You have the Malphite for the setup. You got Rekna for the disengage, and as well as Pygus with you on that Janna. So this is still not Footballist's prime to shine. And they have to slow down the bleed because this could be another fight.
Well, this time is gonna connect onto one. They are gonna go all into Colesso, but Colesso just cannot die. Mega Inferno bomb being committed as well. Now that is gonna be Lucian dashing in, but there is no follow-up fight just yet. You have the ultimate coming from Malphite though, so he can just jump in whenever he wants. It is gonna be the Howling Gale connecting, and just this Lucian, he just targets whoever he wants. That is gonna be Kaisa being taken down. Now you have to leave the next juicy target for the side of Footballist. Now he is on a rampage going over to Wukong. That is gonna be Rekna being stunned, being disseminated right then and there at the Baron lane. 3-0 for the side of Unicorns of Love. The frontliners as well as the ADC no longer available.
Yeah, that is, long death timers for Footballist, and they have no choice but to watch this fly in the hands of Unicorns of Love. And now, I don't think... Look at the damage coming from... Oh, dear me! From the Ziggs.
No. GA is down though, but yes, the damage from Ziggs is just too much. Sweez does become golden, but when the golden coating comes off, you are gonna be taken down, and that is gonna be the ace going over to Unicorns of Love. At the very least, Malphite and Kaisa is already out.
And that is what happened earlier, the replay before the Baron take started. And it is just the chasing potential. I don't think the Gragas was enough for the disengage and the Janna as well for Alpis, because the chase potential coming from Unicorns of Love is just unstoppable.
Unstoppable, unlike the unstoppable force from Kaglian, which there is no follow-up. But jumping back into the game, 16 minutes in, Unicorns of Love, they're robbing literally everything from Footballist, down to buffs, the objectives, even the turrets. Rekna still looking for the perfect time to use his explosive cast, but I don't think Unicorns of Love will let that happen. That is going to be one ultimate down. Tidal Wave is going to be committed as well.
The tidal wave!
Janna gets bursted down by the Tidal Wave. Lee Sin being taken. Now you have the calling coming through for this Lucian, and now that's going to be a double kill going over to Zach Q. Red Team's turret has been taken down, and Unicorns of Love, this is going to be a reverse sweep. Will they be able to get the Nexus? That is going to be a yes. Game 5 going over to Unicorns of Love, and they were able to defeat their throne.
And now they're back-to-back champions from June up until this month. They're able to protect their title in such a sweaty series, losing the first 2 games. But at the end of the day, they're still able to pick up and win this series and the championship.
Man, I need to catch my breath there because a lot of fights really kept on happening. But you know what? Let's take a step back. Let's check out the highlights for game number 5. Woo-hoo.
There's a lot to say here. There's definitely just so much action, which is very understandable because you have a Lee Sin on the opposite side. But this Wukong pick from Colesso really, really made it work and meshed well with Zac and Ashy on this Lucian and Nami. Just incredibly scary. And the damage coming from the Ziggs, though, just so really good positioning as well. And you can tell that Footballists were getting a little bit desperate to make things happen. And so far, they've only been seeing Colesso time and time again. And it's not the target that you want.
in that last clip, I actually saw Nami flashing in just to make sure that her tidal wave will come in at the right time. But yeah, from 2-0, now we have a 2-3 in favor of Unicorns of Love. So, guys, to the fans of this team, we have an interview for you. Hey, it's Pulsar.
Hey!
Hi.
Hey,
All right.
hey.
So first off, congratulations! What a game! A reverse sweep. So, what was your mindset going into game number 3?
Yeah, thanks a lot at first. Thanks a lot for cast and thanks a lot for the emotions, of course. The feelings are great. Like it's insane. We reverse sweep in this crazy best of 5 series. It's insane.
I can't imagine. It was super intense. But backing track a little bit before, the July qualifiers started. Were you guys very confident? Were you guys feeling like, yeah, we feel like we can win, the title again for July?
We weren't confident. We thought that it's going to be a very tough challenge for us because it was really, really hard times, like 1.5 week before the tournament. So the qualifiers went not as good as we expected for us. We lost our first seed in a match for seedings against Turkish teams. So we respected Turkish teams so much, and it was really scary and shaky to play this July monthly finals.
All right. So I actually have one last question for you before we go on to the shout out. So a lot of pro players or aspiring pro players definitely watch your game there. What's your message for them?
For pro players,
Yes,
it's like
and aspiring pro players.
the most important thing is to keep playing, to keep believing that you will win definitely, because every team, they have their defeats. It's you cannot always win, so it's important to like a Rocky Balboa, to stand up when you fall. Just stand up all the time, and even if you fall down, you have to stand up and keep fighting. It doesn't matter how you fight. I mean, how you kick. It matters how you stand up after you get kicked. So it's important to be strong, to come back from even the most difficult situations you have.
I feel
this
like that's
guy's
exactly what we
energy,
saw, right? Yuko? Yeah,
It's
that's
like
something.
it's like yeah. In reverse sweep, you have to when you play like 0-0, you can feel like super bad, but anyway, you have to keep fighting. You keep fighting till the end, and you will. You can get. You still have to believe that you can win, and of course, with all the support from the fans, from everybody who support us, it made us stronger, and we could take the win.
Speaking of your fans, friends, and family, do you have any special shout outs or messages for them?
Yeah, of course I have. Surely I have. Yeah, thanks to all my friends, my girlfriend who also watching the games and cheering all this time, all those games, and of course my team, every player in my team, coach, analyst, everyone. They do perfect job. Really, really great guys, and they did a lot to win. I'm also gonna wear this unicorn hat for our organization, Unicorns of Love. A lot of thanks to them, because they also did a lot to us. So hail the unicorn, and we hope that we will not disappoint our organization and our fans in the future.
I'm sure you guys won't. Thank you so much for giving us the time for this interview. Again, guys, that has been Cold Star with the
Thank you.
very cute hat.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
Cold Star.
thank you. I love that guy's energy. It's here in our country, it's 2 a.m. It's almost 2:30 a.m. But that guy, it just really kept our spirits up. But thank you so much to everyone that watched this first series. From a 2-0, again, we witnessed a 2-3. So Riku, do you have any last words before we hop into the break?
Well, it's setting the trend. All I have to say that last night, Cut versus Sunlight also went to a full-on Game 5, and now Unicorns of Love as well. I feel like our last series to end the entire July grand finale, I feel like we may go to the same fate. It is probably going to be another Game 5.
Desachu, Excoundrel, this one's on you guys. We have been your casters for the first series. Again, I'm Yuko alongside Ms. Riku. Do not forget to follow us on our socials if you enjoyed our cast. But that is going to be us hopping into a very short break. So sit back, relax, and wait for the second series to jump out.